Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It is time. That's right. It's time to hang out with all you beautiful badasses, you movie-loving badasses. It's your boy, Fat Samurai Guy, hanging out with Lady Fat Blood. That's right. She is back on the attack. That's a fact, Jack. That's right. I can rap.
Oh,
I can spit the bars.
you got them skills.
I got dim skills. What is going on, everyone? Thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday night over here. It's raining over here. Hell is frozen over. It's
Yeah.
raining.
After triple-digit weather for God knows
Yes.
how long, it just decided it wanted to rain.
Yes. And it's not been fun melting every day. But what is going on? We're here to talk movies, bad movies. That's right. And we got a couple of good recommendations. Are some of these really as bad as people say? We're going to get into that. Talk about the good and the bad. Who's up in the heezy? Who we got? Oh, shit. We got the sexy sumo throwing it up, representing. That's right. My brother from another mother. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Oh, shit. We got Todd Johnson in the house. He said the day just got better. It's Master Fat. There you go. Master Fat. And Lady Fat Blood. Hey, what's going on? We got the NSG in the house saying, hey, lady, what's going on? Sexy Sumo, we agree. Yes. Fuck the heat. Yeah. Justin says we got to check out Barbarian. That's right. That did come out this weekend. If we have time to go see it, we'll definitely check it out. What's going up? What's going up? What's up, Eric? How you doing, brother? What is going down? Oh yeah. This was not originally planned to
No.
have a live
No.
chill with you guys and talk films.
No.
This has been kind of a crazy week.
It's been a shit week.
Yes.
That's the short end. That's the quickest way to.
That's why you haven't seen Samurai Guy that much this week. But yeah, it's been one of those weeks.
I had one of my infamous migraine attacks.
Yes. Scanners. Scanners, head explosion.
It started Monday and it was quite tolerable Monday.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get out of it. I thought I was in the clear.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday rolled around and I was like, oh no, I'm screwed. Wednesday rolled around. Oh, we're gonna make it a triple, eh? All right, a trifecta. And 3 shots later, three shots later, nothing. And what does Lady Fat Blood do?
Yes.
When she's in a lot of pain and hating life, she wants to watch really shitty movies.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people were curious. Why would you want to watch bad movies?
Yeah.
And talk about it? Well, there's a reason.
Yeah.
This is the reason. It's tradition.
And it was hysterical because we were kind of just like I was this close to introducing him to 365 days, which I know I didn't make it clear the first time I talked about it, because I couldn't wrap my head around what I had just seen the first film when I saw that back in the day. That was another one of those movies where it was like 2 a.m. I don't remember where you were out. You were either at work or you were in sleep. I was by myself. I was having one of those nights where I was just like, dude, I feel like shit. And I saw what appeared to be a 50 Shades of Grey knockoff recommended to me via Netflix. Now, I've never seen 50 Shades of Grey. I know what it is, obviously.
Yeah.
And but I'm like, oh, what is this trash? And I read the plot. I'm like, oh damn, I gotta try it. And I literally questioned my existence watching 365 Days. I questioned humanity. I questioned my fellow man. I questioned who wrote this. I questioned everything I thought I knew about life. I questioned it watching that. And that's why it was so. I've never been able to bring myself to watch the sequel. And then the third one just dropped this a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. And I was this close because I was in that headspace where, dude, I feel like shit. I feel like absolute trash. Like my body is shutting down. I'm exhausted. I'm dizzy. I'm sick.
Time to watch bad movies.
Yeah, I was this close. And then we go to Netflix.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, we didn't know. We had no idea. Morbius had just dropped.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
It's
I think we both reacted
it
to
was
it. We
it
both were
was
like, yeah,
because it was like
yeah,
we were just kind of perusing, like, well, we'll find something. It was one of those, and it
yeah.
was like, hallelujah! It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
And that kicked it off for the night. And we were like, well, let's keep going.
Yeah,
I'm in it with the long run with her. You know, I'm
right,
like, fuck it. We're tag team champions.
right.
She's in pain, wants to watch bad movies. Samurai Guy's right there. But sometimes, sometimes we can be pleasantly surprised or entertained by bad movies. Uh, but let's go ahead and let's see here. Finkster says, we did not watch Dead Zone, but Em and I went to the theater for Morbius. Oh no. We watched like 30 minutes of Uncharted at home. We just couldn't go further. Well, you know what?
Funny you should mention that.
Yes, we're actually going to save Morbius for last. Yes.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yes, what we're doing.
Okay.
We're going to lead up to Morbius.
Okay.
We're going to do Dead Zone, then Uncharted, then Morbius, and then at the end, no spoilers. Very quickly, we did see some older to more recent films, and we'll give our brief thoughts on it. But we do have some cool recommendations for you, and and these movies you probably already seen. But these are what we've seen recently, and we'll briefly talk about it. No spoilers.
Yeah.
Or deep dive.
We were kind of all over the place with movies this week between the two of us. Like, you watched a documentary.
Yes, Django and Django documentary is great on Netflix. Check it out.
And then you also watched the Woodstock 99 documentary. You did a video with Jax on that.
Yeah.
And then we ended up watching two films together that were good. And then I watched a movie on my own that I was interested in, and I really ended up enjoying that.
And we'll talk about that towards the end of the stream.
But this was a trifecta done almost within maybe 12-hour span because, spoiler alert, Uncharted put me to sleep.
Yes, Uncharted put her to sleep, so we had to stop.
Yeah,
and she had a nap for a while.
And granted, I was exhausted from the pain. The pain does knock me out.
Yeah.
Like, the pain physically just drops me.
Right.
But it
no,
the shit out of me.
We're gonna get to the movie.
So,
we're gonna get to it. So
yes.
Let's see here. Let's go ahead and let's get it started. Let's get it cracking. Let's go ahead and start. After our first two movies on Netflix, we were like, there was really nothing else on Netflix that we could find that could potentially be a good or a bad B movie. So we're like, well, let's go to good old Tubi. And then that's where we found Dead Zone. What's up, Brian? What's going on, man?
Someone's going to have fun.
Welcome back, PhatSamuraiGuy. And what's up to everybody? Tomorrow, me and my dad are going to Alice Chains. All right. Alice Chains concert. Okay, copy that. Awesome. Gilbert, I'll do a trailer reaction just for you guys. I know you mentioned that before for the new Aliens documentary coming out. So I'll do that just for you guys. I didn't get a chance to do it yet. What's up, Brolacon? What is going down? All right. NSG has not gathered up interest to watch Uncharted yet. Well, we're not gonna help with that.
Yeah.
We're not gonna help with that. All right, let's go and jump into it here. We'll start. We'll go ahead and start with Tubi here. So Dead Zone.
So we're gonna go in reverse of how we watched it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this was the movie that we watched last, which it was a toss-up between three films on Tubi.
Yes.
We may have chosen poorly, but hey, we chose what we chose.
Yeah.
I chose this one.
Well,
it had the most potential to be, aside from the one with Mike Tyson as the lead.
Yeah. That was the other choice, that action movie out there where Mike Tyson as the lead star, and he has a fight scene with the Mountain from Game of Thrones. That movie, it's a future bad B movie night.
Yeah,
bad movie. I can speak in English. Bad movie night. That'll be on the list. But let's go ahead and talk about Dead Zone here. All right. And why is IMDb asking me to rate Dead Zone? Okay, so the plot synopsis for Dead Zone: you have an elite team of soldiers who, to stop the collapse of humanity, descend on a radiation poisoned. Sorry, I need new glasses.
You do.
Poison the town and perform the ultimate stealth mission using high-tech armor and weapons. Yes, starring Jeff Fahey and everybody's favorite Spawn, Michael Jai White, and some others here. That's right. And hey, I'm not going to play the GIF because I'm getting tired of playing the GIF right now. But hey, we salute all the stuntmen and women to put their bodies on the line. That's right, to give us entertainment. No issues with them, but we're going to go ahead and get into the movie. So this movie is directed by Hank Braxton, who gave us Snake Out of Compton.
That's amazing.
And I know what you're thinking. Oh, this is going to be fucking great.
Somebody put giant cartoon googly eyes
Yes.
on a snake.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Maybe we should have watched this.
Tubi. Where is it? Tubi?
It's probably on Tubi. It's probably there. We didn't know it existed. See what you discover when you come to the Fat Samurai Guy's channel? Right. Snake Out of Compton, which could be puke. It could be putrid or it could be fun. But this is the director who did that. Obviously, from the cover, it looks like a comedy. And the title is the movie a comedy.
Yeah.
We don't know that, right? Because sometimes covers are deceiving. But yes.
Snakes on a Train.
Yeah, Snakes on a Train was fucking terrible. Yeah, that was garbage. But yeah, look at this. Pretty cool little badass little poster there, right? And we love us some Michael Jai White, everybody's loving that. Everybody's loving that. And so we're like, all right, let's go ahead. Michael Jai White killing, shooting zombies, leading a team to go on a mission. We're sold. We're sold. So immediately when this movie starts, we can already tell right off the bat, it's a small budget picture, small budget movie.
They do the cliche quick exposition dump telling you the scenario of the world that you're about to enter so that you're not lost and confused, which,
right.
Many a good B sci-fi movie have done that. So it's like, okay, all right, you got to get that information out there because you can't show it. So you got to tell us. So I forgive you for that.
Yeah, it's fine. And like we always say, here on the channel, doesn't matter if it's a AAA big budget movie or a small micro budget film to no budget, as long as we can find entertainment, that's the only thing that matters, right? So, we always have an open mind. We always like to give things a chance. So as soon as the movie starts, it's not, I'm kind of like, all right, we got our team here, and there was definitely some fans of the video game Doom going on here, especially when you see the kind of helmets what they wear is very Doom Guy-esque helmets. And I'm like, look at this, like I'm digging this. Michael Jai White's a fucking badass. He's going to be leading his team. They're going to these, this designated area. They're going to sneak in and find the cure, right? And I'm like, I'm in, right? And we actually get a fight sequence when they're testing out the suits between Michael Jai White and the actor on his far right there. And it's not a bad fight, one-on-one fight scene in terms of fight choreography. I'm pretty sure Michael Jai White handled the fight choreography. And the way it's filmed, it's not great, but it's solid. Like you could pretty much, for the most part, see everything on that one-on-one fight, right? So I'm like, okay, if the rest of the movie has, stuff like this, I will be all in, right? I'll be all in. And I mean, check out this shot, guys. When they're getting ready to go on the mission, we got the team. We got the team walk, right? Tombstone, Armageddon. We got the team walk, right? Now look at that. It's a great shot. This looks like it's gonna be fucking badass. And look at the helmets. Very, very Doom Guy esque helmet there. I'm like all in. And then when they finally get to their destination, the concept of the movie, I think it makes sense for the movie story plot wise, but for the viewer watching, it's kind of tough because majority of the film, I think 80% of the movie is them with their helmets on. 80% of the movie, and anytime there's any dialogue, everybody looks like this. So everybody has the, like Doom HUD mode, graphics we got going here, which is kind of funny because these visuals here are actually better here than they are in Doom Annihilation. Their HUD mode and helmets were atrocious in Doom Annihilation. So that might bother you if, majority of the movie, everybody, you see all the actors kind of like this. It's very rare they'll take off their helmets and start speaking, but the plot wise, they gotta keep their helmets on because of the radiation. So plot wise, it makes sense that they're going in and they're in their helmets the whole movie, and every time everybody talks, they're like this. But for a viewer watching it, it can kind of get. I mean, it's like you're watching Aliens, right? And everybody has masks and helmets on
Yeah.
the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I mean, maybe if there was maybe they could have been like this throughout the film, and then they finally towards the end, the third act, they had to go Doom Hood, right? So that's kind of that could get on that can get on your nerves a little bit here. If there's any questions I'm missing, let me know there. But we're still in. We're still trying to give the movie a chance. They get there, things don't go, they got the cure, things don't go well, and of course they run into a survivor, and she ends up joining the team. I guess, I mean, for a small budget film like this, acting wise, everybody was, I think, fine
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, it was.
People were trying to give effort.
Yeah.
Michael J. White, he's in a small budget film here, and he's giving more effort than the two actors that we're going to be talking about really soon in the big budget movies. So just remember that. And that's why we like Michael J. That's why we love Michael J. White. He always brings in no matter what he's in, good or bad. But yeah. So
Reggie, I love you.
was
Give it up, Reggie.
Oh shit, Radical Reggie showing up.
Sweetheart. No. Absolutely not.
Oh, you gotta love Reggie, man. You gotta love Reggie. Anyway, so here's my problem. We have no issues with the film being a low budget movie. Some of the visuals being solid, and some of the visuals not, being low budget. No issues with that. No issues with the acting. Acting's fine. No issues with that.
It's low budget. And that's the.
But yeah, we've seen way worse.
There's only so much you can expect in a movie that's clearly got the budget of, we found this little patch we found this little industrial complex that's gated, and we can go film inside there for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the movie. And we have these suits. We have a small group of people, and we have this gimmick where. Maybe we're not filming the actors. We don't know who the actors in the suits actually are because they're all covered in helmets. It could be Michael J. White and the rest of the guys. It could be
stunt guys.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We really don't know. Like maybe we only had Michael J. White for like a couple of days.
Yeah.
And
you never
that's
know.
how we had to work around it. And because it's a B movie, you have to have the tropes where we have to try to give the characters a little bit of personality. But then some things kind of fall apart at the seams when you start. It's like either be a good bad movie and just go for it, or don't, or try to if you take yourself too seriously, sometimes the budget doesn't allow you to give you the vision that maybe you're trying to go for.
Right.
And when you have kind of like stock characters that you can barely tell their personalities apart. But you try to give them personalities, and then you
but majority of their personalities, they're in like this.
Yeah, and then you unceremoniously kill them, sometimes off screen. Sometimes the filming of the way they're killed is so it's so crazy that you can't even tell what happened.
I'm gonna go hard in a second.
It's kind of
I'm gonna go in the paint in a second.
It's kind of like, well, then why did you bother putting the effort into your slight character development?
Yes.
And again, you can forgive the monster special effects for not looking that great. And
there's the monster. We've seen worse monsters.
Yeah. But like we had said earlier, there was that one scene in the beginning,
right? With the one-on-one fight spar.
Let's try out the suits, see if we can fight in the suits.
Yes.
And it wasn't great and it was a little shaky at first, but there you could see the glimpses of,
most
hey, we
part.
know what we're doing.
Yeah,
You can see the
yes.
fight, you can see the choreography
I'm
there.
revving. I'm
And
revving up.
I think we both at the same time, both of us at the same time, were kind of like, oh, well, if this is indicative of the rest of the film, we can roll with it.
Mhm.
We can roll with the low budget. We can roll with the generic. It's, you know, low budget. You know, if you want to make
Yeah.
a movie, it's tough. It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy making a movie.
Yeah. It's a like my friend that I've had here on, you know, writer and director Ruben Arnis. He always says it's a miracle any movie gets made.
Right.
And it's true.
Yeah.
Even if it's no budget,
Yeah.
it's a miracle that movie gets made. But
so when you have this scene where you think that's going to be an indicator of what you're going to see for the rest of the movie, and then it shits the bed.
Oh my God. Okay. So no problems with the budget, low budget. No problems with the let's hide the creature mostly in the dark because we don't want to fully see the creature. But when you finally see the creature later, the creature looks fine. He looks like bootleg Nemesis from Resident Evil 3
with the liquor tongue.
With the liquor tongue. But I mean, we've seen worse, right? I'd rather have that than a really horribly bad looking CGI monster that kills everything. Okay. So again, we're still giving the movie a chance. We're still giving the movie a chance. And then, like you said, there's this one character who gets bit, and the whole team's freaking out because they're like, oh, we're gonna lose Bob.
And the whole thing about the cure is that it's experimental. They don't even know if it's going to work. They've been sent in just this skeleton crew because the government's like, well, we're not going to send in a whole platoon unless we know that this thing is going to be a legitimate cure. And so this cure might work. So they don't even know if this is a legitimate cure for the virus.
Right.
So he gets bit.
Right. This Bob, we're going to call him Bob because it doesn't matter.
Right. And so they're like, well, let's chop off his arm. No, it's too late for that. Well, he's just going to die. Well, what do you want to do, Bob? Well, Bob's about to kill himself, but then it's like Michael Jai White's like, well, he's going to die anyway. So let's trial run the virus.
The virus. Yeah.
And so the character comes back to life.
So they bring him back to life, right? That's number one. He should have died. They brought him back to life. Number two, he shoots at the monster while his friend is getting strangled by the monster, but you could barely see what the fuck is happening. Keywords, right? Bob falls off a building, doesn't die. He's perfectly fine. Just to die later in the movie. I was like, what was the fucking point for Bob to survive twice when you lazily killed him off later in the movie? Is fucking terrible. So little things like this, the movie's like losing me. I'm getting a little annoyed. Right? Especially again, 80% of the fucking movie, everyone's dialogue when they're talking is in this view. 80% of the movie. Okay. So I'm kind of like, all right, movie, I'm trying to stick with you. What else do I have to work with? Action. We gonna have Michael Jai White, the king of all badasses, lead a group of badasses, and they're gonna go in and they're gonna fucking shoot all these fucking zombies, and I'm gonna be very happy. I even said to you, I was like, oh man, this might even be Daylight's end potential, man. You know, Johnny Strong, William Kaufman, baby, represent. And I was like, oh fuck, what the fuck happened? So the first shootout, when you have this little small zombie horde, which they probably only had all of those extras for that one day, they come out and the team's like, all right, this is it, the last stand, let's shoot these guys. They're shooting at all the zombies, and it's so off and on. Some stuff you could see, some stuff you can't see. Sometimes they would show Michael Jai White do a roundhouse kick. And it was just kind of really like when that action set piece was like 50 zombies, it looked like 30 to 40, ran at this team of badasses, and everyone's shooting at these things. By the time that sequence got done, in my head, I was like, wow, that was a fucking train wreck. What the fuck was that? Oh, but it gets worse. It gets worse. Do you love watching your action sequences? You know, do you love watching them? And then somebody in the movie decides to turn the switch on and off with the light. Like they just decide to switch the light on, switch it off. Constantly, nonstop for like 15 minutes. Do you like that in your action sequences,
Do
right?
you like seizures with your
Do
action
you like
sequences?
seizures with your action sequence? So I'm going to show you a clip. I'm going to show you a clip. Now, keep in mind, this is not the entirety of this entire action sequence, which felt like 15 to 20 minutes long. I'm going to show you this. Now, I don't give a fuck, okay? I don't care that, oh, in the warehouse, there's just a broken light somewhere. That's why it's flickering and the flickety flacking in there. I don't care. Okay. I don't know if they were trying to be
It's
scary.
probably,
Was it they were trying to
I
be
would imagine
scary?
that the intent was to make you're already in this enclosed space, and now you've got this horde and this monster coming after the group of guys.
The zombies were first. The zombies
yeah,
were first. Yeah.
I would imagine that the intent was to create suspense because you don't know where they are. But and I understand that. I get the
Fail.
intent, but visually,
Oh my God. It was driving me fucking nuts. But it wasn't just somebody flicking the light back off and on for 15 goddamn minutes. It wasn't just that. What was pissing me off more and making me more frustrated was a lot of the shit, the action and the killing and all this shit was off camera, man. It was off camera. Up to this point, some of the team members got snatched up by the monsters. Like, okay, you don't want to show the monster. You want to leave some suspense and build up to it, right? But we still want to see what the fuck happened to them. We want to see what the fuck happened to Hank and Steve. Can we find out what happened to Hank and Steve? One Hank looked like he was getting choked. That's it. That's all we saw. Steve just got snatched into the darkness. Can you get a bucket of fucking blood and throw it at the goddamn wall? Can you throw an arm out at the camera? He ripped off Hank's arm. So up to this point, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm losing patience. I'm losing patience with these off-camera fucking fuckery. Now I'm going to show you this clip. All right. Now, here we go. I'm going to show you this clip right now. And look at how I just don't understand. I don't understand. Even with no budget, why can't you show the zombie come in the same frame and have the guy shoot the zombie and the zombie fall over? Why is that so difficult? Even when you have no goddamn budget. Look at this shit. Watch this. Make sure I don't play the wrong clip. Hold on. Because there's another clip. Watch this shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Now imagine that for 15 minutes.
oh dear.
15 minutes of that.
I felt like I had something in my eye and I was blinking to try to. That's what the.
It drives you fucking crazy. It was driving me crazy. And there was a few shots where they show Michael Jai White picks up a sledgehammer, and they actually show Michael Jai White and the zombie in the same shot. They show him hit the zombie. I was like, yay. They show him swing and smash a zombie head in the same goddamn shot. I was like, yay. But we had to wait 15 minutes of being fucking blind and having seizures to get there. So Samurai Guy, I'm like really pissed at this point. That was just a clip. You guys need to watch this in its entirety if you're curious. And I was just like, fuck you. Seriously. I'm trying to be respectful and nice because I know it's extremely difficult to make a movie, especially a no-budget film. But I don't understand. Did you notice a lot of the zombie attacks? You notice they would throw the zombie on the floor, pop, 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 pop. They throw this way, pop, pop, pop. You don't see them shoot the zombie in the same shot. It's fucking atrocious. And when you introduce this shit, okay, when you get Samurai Guy excited, all right, when you introduce this, all these badasses with guns gonna blow away a whole bunch of zombies, and you can't fucking show it with your fucking handheld shaky cam. I'm trying to make it intense.
It's okay. It's okay.
Samurai Guy just had a seizure right now. A seizure. Okay? Fuck you. Fuck you, man. Seriously. The editor, I'm trying to be really nice. All right? I'm trying to be nice. But you're ruining what the stuntmen, their job. You're ruining what they're there for. Okay? And then you're ruining our entertainment because you're giving the audience goddamn seizures. All right?
Yeah, it was a simple premise.
Dude, keep it simple, man.
The movie could have been a perfectly suitable cheap little B movie if the filming of it, you don't have to have the best gore effects. I understand that those are expensive.
Yes.
And whether they're practical, which it's not likely you're going to get practical in a movie with this kind of budget, or they're CG, which again, budgetary wise, maybe wasn't in the budget, and also CG gore isn't the greatest looking gore, but at least you tried. It's hard. It's a fine line to walk.
Yeah.
But all you had to do was just film the movie.
Yes.
Film the movie. Like, let us see it.
Yes.
That's really all it had to boil down to, was just let us see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, that was a fun little waste of time.
Yeah.
But instead it just turned into okay. It was like, okay, this is only like an hour and 28 minutes, and it's like, okay, I'm getting irritated.
Yes, and the story is already very simplistic, bare bones.
Yeah.
So if the story is not enough, and the characters are not engaging enough to keep us invested, your action better be fucking on point, man. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. But we have one more clip to show you, and you're gonna laugh hysterically.
Oh, are you ready?
Thank you, Nate Dogs, for the super chat. Thanks for showing the support. It's great to join PhatSamuraiGuy and make Fat Blood on another live stream. Well, we appreciate you having you here, man.
Well, thank you.
Oh, 30 F-bombs in 2 minutes. That's right. Our channel is not for children.
Yeah.
So if you're children, fuck off. All right. Unless you're badass and your parents are badass and they let you watch us.
God.
Shh, don't tell anyone. So anyway, so I'm pissed. But then we finally have this end finale and finale. You see the monster.
So at this point, Michael Jai White has also been infected, and he's taken the shot.
Right.
Now, I don't know exactly how many shots they had, but apparently they have another one, and their plan is to inject, we'll just call him the Nemesis zombie, with the virus, with the antivirus.
Yeah.
So that it'll stop him, obviously. Yes. And so we're balls deep in this irritant of a visual film. The film itself would have been fine, except visually it was just no. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we're balls deep in all this irritation. And
it's hold that thought. It's frustrating because there's a few moments where they show a zombie getting decapitated. They show a zombie getting stabbed in the face or blown with a shotgun. There's these few moments here, but it's just everything else is like, what are we doing? But go ahead.
And then Michael Jai White's little scuffle with the Nemesis happens, and it's the shit cherry on top.
Yes. You guys ready? This this is really bad. What I'm about to play. This is horrible. This one-liner is really bad.
Possibly one of the worst.
Possibly one of the worst one-liners in an action horror flick. But this movie's experience watching it, I'm thinking about it now. This might be the best part of the movie. By default. Okay, here we go. Enjoy this, guys. Enjoy this clip. Here we go. Here's the finale.
Time to get vaxxed, motherfucker. Side effects may include fuck you.
Time to get vaxxed. side effects may include fuck you. And you could see how bad and cringy that line was. You could see that still Michael J. White gives it his all. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna say this bad line as badass as I can try to say it. Unlike these other two actors we're going to talk about a little bit later. But yeah, it was cringe. It was really bad. Yeah, I knew you guys would enjoy that. It was cringe. It was really bad. But looking at it now, it's probably the best part, probably the most memorable part of the movie.
Sumo.
What does Sumo say? Let's see where he at. Oh God. Well, yeah. So that's Dead Zone. So we're gonna go ahead and it's just people. I guarantee you, casuals will start. They'll click on Dead Zone, and most likely, if they're not a fan of B movies or horror films, most likely they'll watch the first 5 minutes and go, "Oh, it's a low budget movie." Click. They're done. That's what casuals would do. The thing is we understand, we get it. We've actually been there recently. We understand, people put a lot of hard work, even in some projects that have absolutely no budget. And we can understand all that. But when it's the simplest, easiest of things, and you can't even do that. That's what pisses me off. When I talked about Robo Woman, if you guys want to know my review about Robo Woman, watch that review. It's fucking hilarious. Now, Robo Woman makes Dead Zone look like Scarface. Okay. But even in Robo Woman, I was like, why can't you already introduced the fact with her character that she knows martial arts. When she's getting revenge on some of the people that fucked with her, why can't you have her just throw a goddamn punch and show her throw a goddamn punch? But no, all the fights are like this. Ham bone, motherfucker. Yeah. And the camera's behind her and it's fucking slap fight. And it's not supposed to be a comedy. Again, just show she was doing this earlier. Have the guy come, film it from the side. You can see it. Have her throw a goddamn punch and knock his head off. This is what frustrates us as viewers.
When what's frustrating is like we've said, you had a perfectly fine, low budget sci-fi B movie that you could have given us. You had it. You had it right there. Everything was there. Groundwork, everything was there. It wouldn't have been like the next big thing, but it was perfectly fine.
Entertaining for what it was. That's what we wanted.
All you had to do was show it.
Just show it.
That's all. You kind of shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
That was it.
And it's
kind of frustrating because it's like you had it.
It's fine. Everything else was fine.
We
were willing to accept it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think
I can't.
As much as we shit on a lot of the bigger projects that come out anymore, like Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
I think we can be forgiving about certain types of films because of the budget. Like Thor: Love and Thunder, there was no goddamn excuse for that.
Yeah.
But movies like this, it's like you got no budget. I can forgive you for a lot.
Right.
That's just how I look at things.
But it still has
not everybody looks at it like that.
It still has to entertain though. And my boy Finkster, when Day Shift came out, he wasn't a big fan of it. I get it, but he was all like hashtag Scott Adkins deserves better. Well, let's I think Scott Adkins is in good hands. I think he's in good hands. Let's focus. Let's focus a little bit more.
Let's bring in the hashtag Michael J. White deserves better.
At this point. This guy deserves better.
Time to get facts, motherfucker. Side effects may include fuck you.
Like I've always said, there's levels to this. All right, let's go ahead and rate it. Rate the action and the movie, please. C is average for those of you that are new that are watching. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Wait.
Cheers.
I bet the action would have been fine if we could have seen it, but it wasn't. So it failed. So the action gets an F.
All right,
And
action gets an F.
I'm sad to say that because I bet it was fine. I'm willing to bet it was fine, but you can't see it. There's nothing. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Move along, folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, the action. Yeah, that one little scuffle at the beginning, which was fine, but then everything else just tanked it. So yeah, unfortunately, that failed. So,
Okay.
no. And the movie itself, it could have been a harmless little C+ of a sci-fi,
Yeah.
but it was just, overall everything that was negative about it just dragged it down when it didn't need to. So probably D+.
D+. Okay. Samurai Guy is giving the action an F+. I didn't think you were going to give it an F. I thought you were going to be a little bit more generous than me.
Really? I mean,
no. I'll leave it. F+, and the movie's D. I'm sorry.
So we're close.
Yeah, we're pretty close. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry because But here's the thing. Michael J. White still a legend.
Sorry.
Still love the motherfucker.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. Just like Samaritan. Just like Samaritan doesn't taint
Yeah. And if
Stallone's legacy.
if any of you have,
he's still God.
If any of you out there have never seen Black Dynamite, stop what you're doing.
Black Dynamite.
Stop what you're doing right
is
now.
Amazing.
And go watch it.
All right. Yeah. So fuck that. All right. Let's move on. So that was our review of Dead Zone. Now let's move on. I can speak of the English to some big budget, huge stars,
Lord,
advertisement everywhere off the fucking yin yang, on the buses, in signs in the air, commercials, TV spots. Lunchaboys, lunchboxes, yes, everywhere.
It's all right.
Funko Pops, yes. Money. That's right. Nothing holding them back. All the money that they want, star power, everything. Now, let's talk Uncharted. Yes. Brought to us by the director that gave us Venom. Sorry, Finkster. The boy gave us Venom. Yes. Yes.
God.
Which is kind of funny because there's a little similarities to Venom in the next movie we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. So the director that brought us Venom. That's right. His name, hold on, let me bring it up. Ruben Fleischer. That's right. This movie stars Peter Parker and Marky Mark and the Boring Bunch. Okay? That's right. Plot synopsis. Street smart Nathan Drake is... let me redo that. Street smart Peter Parker is recruited by seasoned treasure hunter Victor Sully Sullivan to recover a fortune amassed by Ferdinand Magellan and lost 500 years ago by the House of Maganda. All right. Uncharted. Oh, man. Now, I remember a while back on the action film Autopsy episode with the good old, our brother, Kung Fu Santa, Rick Myers. He talked about the film because he's seen it way before I did. So now I finally got a chance to talk about Uncharted.
What did he think?
We're on the same page. We're actually on the same page here.
Okay.
All right. So here we go.
All right.
Uncharted.
So
now I have only played and beaten the first two Uncharted games. I started Uncharted 3. I never got a chance to beat it. I wanted to go back and revisit it.
Right.
I may do that on a Let's Play and play. I know I'm fired for not playing Uncharted 4. I get it. But I know what the characters are pretty much. I know the personality.
Yeah. My exposure is limited to just occasionally watching you play the video game. Mm-hmm. So I'm familiar with Uncharted. Keep in mind, I'm a Lara Croft stan. So I'm all about Tomb Raider. Yeah. Obviously.
Old school.
Yeah, Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider, that's my gig.
Yeah.
So
there's a Right there, Tomb Raider shelf.
Yeah.
You got a Tomb Raider shelf,
Yeah.
statues, and old school
So,
Tomb Raider.
but you know, what I watched when you were playing Uncharted, I enjoyed it. I found it
Yeah.
entertaining. I found it
Yeah.
engaging. I'm not the best at video games, so I didn't bother. I think I played. I tried, and I'm like, fuck this shit. It's not working.
Yeah.
So, that's my limited knowledge of Uncharted.
Right.
Now, I'm going to be extremely biased when
Okay.
I get into this because I have never been, excuse me, I have never been, and I can't
Man, this is
imagine.
so behind.
It froze.
Oh, okay.
I've never been, and nor can I ever imagine myself being a Mark Wahlberg fan.
Okay.
I know my cousin is not watching this, but I will apologize to my cousin Kelly. I'm sorry.
Come on, Kelvin Klein commercial.
Calvin Klein. Okay.
Whatever the fuck.
I do not understand the appeal of Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
I don't care if he has a great director, he does fine. I don't care because everything I've ever seen him in has been trash. I've seen him in Michael Bay movies. I've seen him in just anything. Anytime I see him,
Yeah.
I'm bored. I'm instantly bored.
Right.
And by God, he did not disappoint me in this film. So when I heard out the casting, it's like Tom Holland. This is going to sound really bad. I love Tom Holland as Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen him in anything else.
Right.
But it was really hard to separate Peter Parker, Tom Holland from this film. I saw almost no difference.
None.
Like maybe he's a much better actor in different genres with different scripts with different directors. Maybe he's a Mark Wahlberg. I don't know. I'm never saying that again. But I mean, when I heard the casting initially,
right,
I was like, ew.
Yeah, instantly.
Young baby Nathan Drake, and then fucking Mark Wahlberg as what is Sully? Is that his name? Like I was just like, first of all, I hate Mark Wahlberg, so that didn't help. But then I'm like, those two together, I just couldn't picture the charisma.
Right.
And you need that antagonistic kind of charisma with those two characters, from what I remember in the game.
Right.
Like they have to have,
they
have to mesh, they have to gel.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't picture it with those two, especially because of Mark Wahlberg.
Terrible casting. Terrible.
And I get really tired of the cliche of going back to the beginning and telling origin stories. That's why I was like, I don't hate the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider film, but because it's so close to the more recent games, the 2013 and onward games, which I'm not the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
I don't hate the movie, but I feel like just a very, well, that happened.
Right.
But it's also an origin story for her. So I'm like, I'm not really interested in the origin story. I like the fully developed. We're already here. We know the character. There's all this lore. You've got, at this point with Uncharted, you've got 4 video games of lore, but there's something about Hollywood where they'll take established characters and established media in comic book form or novelization form or video game form, and they will not use it. Now, I don't know if it's because they have to give writers money and they have to come up with their own shit and they don't want to pay what's already existent. I don't know. That might be a possibility.
Yeah.
But here we are, once again, up to our necks in generic.
Oh my gosh.
Generic, just drivel.
Generic turned up to 11. I didn't think that was possible. How do you turn generic up to 11? And what's funny, I just want to click on what Finkster said here. It's funny because I jokingly said to her.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I jokingly
just me.
I jokingly said to her when Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg are walking together in the same shot and they're talking back and forth, I said to her, they're the same character. I was like, they're the same character. Is that the same person? Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Now I'm not a huge Mark Wahlberg fan either, but I have seen the movies that he's actually good in. I'll show her that one day in the future.
I apparently have literally avoided certain films that are really good specifically because he's in them. I dislike him that much as an actor. He gives me nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Like, I fucking hated him. I had to sit through 2 goddamn Transformers films. It didn't matter.
Well, I thought you liked Ted. You liked Ted. You like the Ted movie,
I
not
was
necessarily him.
exactly
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And I never
Yeah.
saw Ted 2, so I mean
Yeah.
I don't know about anything about that. But I just can't stand him. I see his face and it's like, ew, no,
No, it's
just no. And it's his acting style. It's
yeah.
bland.
She hasn't seen The Departed. Like I said, there's
haven't
other
seen it.
movies
I
that
haven't seen it.
I'll show her the other movies, but I'm still not a huge fan. Mark Wahlberg's one of those actors. You got to give him the right role, and you got to give him the right director to give him the good performance, like in The Fighter with Christian Bale. He's
So
good
what?
in
He's
that.
got like 4 good movies to his name. It's not a fucking track record to brag about, man.
Anyway. So this movie, and this is just our opinion, and it doesn't matter. This movie's so generic. She was falling asleep, and I'm watching this like, Jesus Christ. There's dead air. Dead air. There's dead air jokes. For example, when they open up, when we finally get some kind of Tomb Raidering, and they open up the door and they're getting ready to go down the steps. You have this whole 3-way dialogue. I challenge you to go back and watch that again. Watch that scene again between Nathan, Chloe, and Sully, and just dead air. He's like, oh, I see. You want to go with her down there. You don't want to go with me. Well, why do you want me to come with you? Well, I might need you, but she might need me. But are you going to go down there? Well, of course I'm going to go down there. She might need me. Don't you need me? Why don't you need me? Well, what? I don't want to lose you. Let me track you. Let me track you. Well, do you have apps on your phone? Yeah, I got apps on my phone. Okay, give me your phone. I can track you here, and then you can go back. Dead air. Dead air. Okay? I was screaming for Felicia Vikander's Tomb Raider movie. And that movie had some good parts to it, but it also stunk of generic as well.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes of that film were unwatchable.
Yes.
You had to sit through a lot of shit.
Yes. And her fight with Walton Goggins at the end of that movie is fucking atrocious. But at least there was a whole bunch of traps. There was stuff there in terms of action set pieces. She's a fucking murderer compared to Nathan Drake. Strangled somebody to death, used airboat. She used fucking bow and arrows and shit and machine guns. Daniel Wu was in that movie. Yeah, there's different levels of generic as well. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So let's talk about it a little bit here. So in the beginning, we have young Nathan Drake talking.
Don't forget, they had to sucker you into thinking that this was a fun film by showing you the plane sequence first.
Oh,
Nathan Drake is hanging in between the cargo that's falling out of the cargo plane, and he's hooked into it. And they have to show you this generic action sequence to try to get you excited for the movie. And then they pull a 25 years earlier or 15 years earlier type of deal. Probably 15 years earlier.
Right.
I'm getting my movies.
It doesn't matter.
Because Morbius was 25 years earlier. Right. My bad.
But anyway,
I think. Anyway, both movies had a flashback sequence. And so they trick you with this, oh, look at how action packed and fun and wacky, because it looks like a scene from out of the video game. Right. Is what it is, which is fine. I can appreciate that. But the fact that they had to do that to get your attention because they kind of knew that what they were going to be presenting wasn't that interesting. And then they do the cliche where he's got an older brother, and that's where they get this.
What's up, champ?
This expedition type of relationship, like, oh, there's this map and it leads to this and this, and it's fascinating. And then the brother gets he disappears.
He runs away because they're after him because of bullshit. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. But from here on, I love the time transition of the kid into Tom Holland, who looks like he's just 5 years older than the kid. But all this time has passed.
Yeah.
But it's just anyway, we're still watching it. We're still trying to give it a chance, because sometimes some movies could be a little generic at first, but then they pick up and they're like, all right, that was kind of a cool finale, right? But we're still watching this. All right. But this motherfucker, whether he just decided to phone it in and just said, I don't really have to act. I'm Mark Wahlberg. I could just show up and people will pay $1 billion to see me. Or he was trying to do a good version of Sully, but the director was like, that's good enough. Next scene. Right? Because when I remember Sully, he's kind of Rip Torn-esque. Rip Torn a little bit. You know, Nathan, the hell you doing over there, kid? That's Sully. Sully is not, hey, you gonna steal watches? You know, you gonna steal bracelets? Yeah. You know, you gotta be a little bit more careful when you're stealing bracelets. All right? And give me a hot dog in there with some mustard on it. And then give me a cup of coffee while you're at it. He is asleep. He is sleepwalking in this goddamn movie. But there's another actor that we'll talk about a little bit later in another film that's even worse than Mark Wahlberg. If that's possible.
Bro, how do you do that?
Again, either he said, fuck it. You know, I was approached to go on vacation out there, you know, in Italy or whatever the fuck they're filming the movie. And I was like, yeah, they're filming a movie out there. Let me go out there, I'll play this role, and I'll go on vacation. This feels like Rush Hour 3. Where you can clearly tell Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker are just on vacation. They're out there on vacation, and they're filming a movie while they're out there. You could totally tell. Okay? But just sleepwalking, bro. Sleepwalking throughout this. So anyway, they team up. We go on our, we get started on our adventure here. And Antonio Banderas shows up. And as soon as he got out of the car, I jokingly said to her, I've come to save the movie. Yeah. But that doesn't last. But Banderas tries. He tries in the movie, but he's the villain. He's the bad guy. Then they run into Chloe just to have a parkour action sequence that leads absolutely nowhere.
What it shows that she can take care of herself.
Which
she's, you know.
It leads nowhere. This scene here is all right. The audience is falling asleep. We need an action sequence. Go.
But it ends up being the definition of a cul-de-sac.
Yes.
She literally steals the piece.
Yes.
That they have.
Yes.
Just for her to be on the verge of driving away when Sully's like, you know, you might want to, you know, yeah.
You might want to.
Everybody kind of agrees that hey, I've got one key, you've got another key.
Yeah,
we need two keys, obviously.
But it's just,
we kind of have to team up. We have to learn to trust each other, especially Nathan, because Nathan's really young and naive at this point.
Yeah,
and you know he's like, okay, we gotta do this together.
Yeah, leads nowhere though. It leads absolutely nowhere.
It's literally a cul-de-sac. We literally just ran around the cul-de-sac. It came right back where we started.
Right.
And it was just kind of like you said, it was to wake the audience up.
It was to wake the audience up scene.
But
I'm not impressed. If I want parkour, let's watch District B13. All right. You're gonna give us parkour, that opening action sequence in Casino Royale. I feel like parkour nowadays is so overused because we got to have something flashy. Well, make it cool at least. You know, make something cool, make it memorable, you know, out of it. But I was still like, all right, we're in generic town, but you know, maybe when we start our actual adventure and we start doing some Tomb Raidering, all right, here we go, baby. Woo! He steps on a trap. Some spikes come out. All right, I can get down with this. And then they find some pots, and then they break the pots, and then there's just sand in the pots. Salt. Sorry, I forgot already. Salt in the goddamn pots. She gets the map. Of course, we all saw it a mile away that Chloe was going to turn on Nathan, right? And then that's it. That's all you get, guys. That's all the adventuring / Tomb Raidering you get in an Uncharted movie. Until later, when he comes across the ships from the Goonies movie, all right?
Which are sturdy as
and he's looking around, and I was waiting for, hey, you guys. I was waiting for that to happen to wake me the fuck up. But yeah, that's all you get. That's all you get in this. It's even on this level. Even when I would rather watch the National Treasure movies in terms of Tomb Raidering excitement, you fucked up. Okay, you fucked up. All right. So yeah, so not even on this level, I was impressed, excited. Nothing was memorable. So let's keep the generic going, shall we? Excuse me, my throat's a little generic. I need some liquid generic to wash the generic down. Ah, yeah. That's some good old-fashioned generic, baby. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it generic. All right. So let's just skip forward here because really nothing else is happening. Oh, you fell asleep. I stopped the movie and then we watched the rest of it later.
Oh, so we have the second. We have what we thought was the main baddie with Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
And then, like midway through an evil speech,
Twist.
he gets murked
Right.
by the actual baddie, who's this young chick who's been like, she was employed by him.
She was his heavy.
She was employed by him to get the MacGuffins and whatnot.
Right.
The gold MacGuffins.
Yeah.
And she just murks him and he's gone. And it's like, oh.
And now she's in charge because.
So we get generic. We could have had Antonio Banderas, which I suppose is fitting for this.
It's fitting for the movie.
This generic fucking ass movie.
Yeah. I guarantee you no one that watched this movie knows who her name is. Her character name is. I guarantee it.
Go look it up.
But the shootout on the actual plane before I went to the CGI stunts later with the what was the stuff that was dangling out of the plane?
It was like cargo.
Right?
Like just, yeah.
There was a little bit of action in that plane before everybody threw out to CG World. A little bit of back and forth shooting. I was like, okay, I'm trying to pay attention now. Just wasn't enough. But Nathan flies out. Him and Chloe fly out of the plane. They land safely in the water. And then they walk up on the beach together and they come across old Nolan North. That's right. The voice actor from Nathan Drake and Deadpool and all those movies and games and stuff like that. It was nice to see him and it was nice to hear him. But it's not enough. It's not enough. So we have our pirates in the air. This Caribbean action sequence here.
This is where I was just like, okay, this is fucking ridiculous.
Which a lot of people kind of like. They think it's the best scene in the movie.
I mean, I guess if you're that
by default,
if you're so bored,
yes,
that you're like willing to accept anything. But I was so bored that I was just like, okay, I'm over it. I'm so over it. I don't know. It's like if you have a video game film.
I agree, Sexy Sumo. Yeah. I agree with this. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, if you had there in video games, there are over the top things that happen in video games.
But even in the games, there were better action set pieces in the games.
But I'm saying is like the thing about a video game is that you're in the video game. You're playing the character. So if you have a scene, like I don't know if this actually happened in the video game.
Severio says, let's see here. I think it was also out of the games.
I mean, it could have been
possibly.
But the problem is that when you have a movie that's been kind of playing it straight,
it's probably better in the game. Yeah.
When it's playing it straight, the tomb raiding hasn't been that great. The
characters
aren't great. The treasuring hasn't been great.
The action's not that great. The
banter hasn't been great.
Yeah.
Nothing's been entertaining enough to hold me.
But I'm Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I'm enough.
When you've got a
Give
movie,
me fucking money.
When you've got a movie where it's just like nothing's holding anything together, I can't suspend my disbelief for you. Like, there are certain films where I probably could suspend my disbelief, where there are two helicopters lifting up fucking hundreds and hundreds of year old wooden ships that
Yeah.
don't instantly collapse in on themselves once they
So-
hoist them up.
So
And they're
Okay.
flying around in this ridiculous fucking looking action sequence. There are probably some films that have done it. There's probably a movie out there where if they did it right, I would not give a shit that this was happening, and I'd be like, this is entertaining as hell. This was not the movie.
So what? Well, I think I get what you're trying to say. So
Mm.
what you're trying to say is, if the movie was actually fun, if the movie was actually entertaining, and if the movie had several fun and
Yes.
over the top action set pieces spliced throughout the film, this would have been acceptable.
And if the movie, again, had a cast of characters and writing that I was invested in,
Yeah.
and the characters weren't putting me to sleep every 5 minutes, I probably could have accepted
You,
that
you
scene.
just don't like me.
Yeah, it's true.
Lady
in-
Fat Blood, you just don't like me. It's not. I feel my feelings are hurt.
Haven't you heard I don't
My-
like anything?
My feelings are hurt.
I like nothing. But yeah, in this movie, I was just like, I was looking at these two fucking ugly ass helicopters
Yeah.
hoisting up these old ass ships
Yeah.
that, again, I'm thinking the ships would never, ever, ever, ever survive this. Well, they were just sturdier back then.
Oh, look at this is oh my God.
Oh my god.
Bravo, Clark's reviews. Bravo. I mean, we all seen Nathan as Drake, but I didn't think about Bruce Campbell being Sully. Perfect.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect.
The charisma would have been there.
Uh,
That's what I'm
but-
saying. Is like,
But I knew years ago when there was just talk about this movie coming out, and everybody then wanted Nathan Fillion to play Drake. I knew then Hollywood wouldn't do it
yeah.
because he's old. We can't have the old guy lead a new franchise. That's why
And he's not.
they went with Tom Holland.
He's not a movie name, to be fair. Like,
Jesus Christ.
he's made movies, but they're not Tom
You
Holland,
mean
Mark Wahlberg.
superstar?
They're not Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
They-
superstar. Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously he's made movies, but not on the scale where if you're gonna sink $100 million. Did you check the budget on this?
I'm sure it was a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna sink over
But
$100 million
this felt
on
like a
this.
Netflix, straight to Netflix movie. This is not.
It-
This did not. Got too much generic still up in here. This did not feel like a straight to the theater movie. Like, this felt like Netflix movie of the month.
It really did.
You know,
It
Yeah.
did, and those have been insufferable lately. Like, I can't sit through Netflix films. Like, ugh. I tried watching The Man from Toronto. Apparently, I hate Kevin Hart. I didn't know this. I didn't know I hated Kevin Hart until I actually tried to watch a movie with him in it, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Well, oh shit! Don't give the movie dojo army ideas. Don't give them ideas to request the newest Netflix picture with Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart in it for us to review.
You can't make me.
You can't even not even when you have another migraine and you want to watch B movies, you still can't bring yourself to watch that one.
I don't like Kevin Hart. Like, I don't.
I'm
like,
tired of him too.
Like, I just,
Yeah,
I can't.
I get it. I totally get
I
it.
find him so irritating. Like,
Yeah.
I just,
Which is
ugh.
sad because we used to like his early stand-up when he was hungry. Things change when you get money.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. I know you're probably wondering, well, Samurai Guy, where's some of the clips for Uncharted? Well, I tried to get some clips, but I kept falling asleep. So anyway, anyway, and is there anything worthy enough to show?
Not really.
There's nothing to show.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's rate this sumbitch so we can move on to the movie that everyone's here for us to hear what we have to say about it. The next film. All right, action movie. What are you giving Uncharted?
I wouldn't even bother rating the action for me personally because it's. Just,
I did it anyway.
I know you did. It's just so generic that I just didn't care, and that's the thing. It's like either be so bad that I can laugh at it, or be fun, and this movie was neither for me.
Yeah.
So I.
Yeah.
God, am I really gonna give it another D?
Go ahead.
I just didn't like it. I was bored. I was
Okay.
bored out of my mind. Cardinal sin.
Okay.
You bored me with your generic bullshit. I just didn't like it. It wasn't a grossly incompetent film. That was the thing. It wasn't like, oh, look at all the editing mistakes. Oh, look at all the pacing issues. It wasn't even
Right.
like that.
Right.
It was just so generic.
Yeah.
I was bored out of my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah, believe it or not, I don't hate this movie, but it's fluff. It's fluff. You know, they interviewed Rob Zombie many years ago, and this was back in the late 90s, and they were making him watch music videos. And I Want It That Way, Backstreet Boys music videos came on, and they're all out there dancing with their white overalls and shit. And they asked Rob Zombie, what do you think of this video? What are you feeling? And he goes, what do I think of this video and this song? You know that phlegm, that froggy phlegm that you get the back of your throat, you know, that you wake up with in the morning? Yeah. That's Uncharted. It's the froggy phlegm that's there. You have to deal with it by watching it. You spit it up, you've seen it, you move on. That's what this movie is. It's completely, utterly forgettable. There's nothing there. Nothing there. And I will be absolutely stunned if in the sequel they'll get it right. And we had that extra action sequence at the end of the at the end of the end credits, and all of a sudden Sully's got facial hair.
that was another thing.
He's got facial hair.
That was another thing that pissed me off. This movie got the luxury and the privilege of actually, for a split second, and you pointed this out, and then it made sense in the end credits.
Yeah.
For a split second, you actually heard the theme song from the video games.
Oh, I forgot that even happened.
I would like to point out that 3 Tomb Raider films have occurred, and not once have we heard Nathan McCree's Tomb Raider theme in any of those films. Not once have we been given the luxury of hearing an actual orchestral version of Lara Croft's actual theme, the real Lara Croft theme, not the new Square Enix bullshit. I don't. You know, if you like the games, it's fine. I just don't. They're there.
Right.
They exist for me. I'm talking about the original Nathan McCree score that he did the first 3 games, and even though he didn't do any of the other games, the original Tomb Raider theme that you hear when you popped in that disc and you had the main menu screen, that theme would at least come back in each of the games in some way, shape, or form. They would play it somewhere in the games up until Tomb Raider Underworld, which was the last game Crystal Dynamics did for PS3, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. We didn't even get that in the fucking live action movies. But this movie of all movies, we're throwing you the bone of giving you, for a split second, the Uncharted theme.
Yeah, you hear the Uncharted theme, and they play it again in the end credits. It's a waste. You know, when I heard it in the movie, I was booing. I was like, boo. No. Stop it, movie. Stop it. And this movie really trying to be the next Marvel. The opening credits with their logo, the Sony logo, the end credits. They're trying, hey, we're the new Marvel. Oh man, it's bad. You don't want to be the new Marvel right now. But I mean, it's bad. It's bad. So, all right. Did you rate the movie? Well, let's go.
I'm trying to be fair, but the movie was just so nothing. I guess C-. It's nothing.
Oh, sorry.
And we did it again. There we go.
Sorry. Had to get that generic out of my glass there. Let us know if you guys can still hear us. It looks like the sound's still good. All right, Samurai Guy, it's his turn to rate it. All right. Generic, but you can at least see the action kind of for the most part, especially when you compare it to the Dead Zones. What the fuck? So I'm going to give the action a C-, below average, and I'm giving the movie a D+. It's a D+. Stop wasting hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on generic, forgettable phlegm that's stuck in the back of your throat. Stop doing this.
I like to point out that the Sonic movie, which I had zero investment in,
Yeah.
I've only seen the first one. I was more entertained by the Sonic film than this film.
No.
Sonic was actually cute. Like
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah.
After
I mean, in comparison.
after that redesign, because Jesus, that abomination.
Oh my God.
But
But yeah, let's that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and move on now to
the film that started this whole adventure.
yes, the film that started this whole adventure. Hold on a second. All right. So, Morbius. It's Morbin time. So we could not wait. We've been waiting for a long time to eventually get a chance to watch this for free because we're not paying to see it. But, you know, zero expectations going in this. And, you know, this film, whether you love the movie or not, it still has that stank on it. Gonna put some stank on it. That's right. Stone Cold Steve Austin style of being maybe in cinema history. There's got to be another one. There's got to be. But as of right now,
I don't see how. I don't see how there's
The
ever been a
movie-
movie in history that got released, tanked, then the producers, the studio, got trolled by the internet.
Yeah.
And the movie got re-released again because they thought that the internet was being serious and they wanted the movie re-released. And so they did, and it tanked again.
Yeah.
This couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
This couldn't have happened before.
I'm just saying because we don't know. There's 5 billion movies out there. We don't know if
Which
another one tanked.
I
twice.
find that
That's some stank.
I find that fascinating.
That's some stank on it. Okay, that's holy shit. Like I said, whether you love the movie or not, that stank is still there because it's like we couldn't believe it. We were shocked when we heard the news when it got released again and it bombed again. It's like Jesus Christ. I mean, geez, put the salt on the wound already. You know. But the film is directed by Daniel Espinosa, who did a little small creature feature sci-fi thriller that I actually enjoyed for the most part. I was entertained with the movie Life. And this was the movie I was hoping was the Venom prequel. I think a lot of us was hoping that this was the Venom prequel movie. But Life was a solid little sci-fi thriller slice. And for the most part, I thought it was solid. I enjoyed Life. I think you fell asleep. But it's Morbin time, baby. That's right. All you badasses. Hey, thanks for sticking it out with us, getting it with us this far in the video. You guys are awesome. We got 43 badasses. Thanks again for hanging out and hearing us rant about movies. Don't forget to hit that like. Ooh, there we go. Boom. There you go. Hit that like while you're here. We appreciate it, man. All right. It's Morbin time. You know, I didn't think Marvel had the balls in them to remake Batman Begins. That's pretty ballsy.
Remember, this is Sony. Sony has no scruples.
That's ballsy, Sony.
So
To remake Batman Begins.
music,
you know,
music and all.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show a little screenshot. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty ballsy. You know, they would remake the enemy's movie. I'm shocked. I'm I'm just goofing around. Morbius stars Jared Leto, Matt Smith, Jared Harris, Michael Keaton for a few seconds, who looks confused to be in the film,
as we all were. I think
Ty Sleep Gibson.
Oh god.
Ty Sleep Gibson is also in this.
I think Sony and MCU are confused about what the hell they're doing with their cinematic universe and
Matt Smith, which we're fans of Matt, but
I don't think they know what they're doing at this point in terms of the multiverse scenario. I guess it kind of seems like at this point, Spider-Man, and because I don't remember exact things that happened in Venom and Venom 2, but apparently Spider-Man doesn't exist with this Venom, which this Venom, our Venom that we've seen, exists with Morbius because they mentioned a San Francisco incident.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, which would be Venom. And Venom
Well,
2.
even you have that scene where Jared Leto's fucking with the thugs.
Yeah.
And he,
And he goes, "I'm Venom."
He goes, "I'm Venom."
Yeah.
You know? So,
So
they're in the same world.
So apparently, the MCU that we know with Spider-Man, pre the multiverse splitting open, they don't exist together. But then the multiverse opens up, and for some reason, by the end of the film, Keaton's character Vulture gets sucked in.
Yeah.
To their multiverse for some reason, and stays there. Stays there.
After all these years, we're still trying to do Sinister Six.
Which again, we're gonna get into how bizarre
we're gonna lead up to it.
The similarities between this and Amazing Spider-Man 2 were baffling to me.
Yeah.
Because we actually have like scenes and dialogue ripped almost out of Amazing Spider-Man 2 between that Peter Parker and Harry Osborn.
Right.
Because in that movie, if you remember, we're quickly introduced to Harry Osborn because that movie was a train wreck. That movie was trying to juggle 50 million balls in the air and dropped all of them. Yeah. That movie introduced Harry Osborn.
Right.
That they were childhood friends, and that his dad was dying with this hereditary genetic disease, and that Harry had this genetic hereditary disease that he was going to start to die from quickly, like faster than his dad ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was going to be turning into Goblin, the Green Goblin, and blah, 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 blah. But there is this scene in that film where Peter Parker has obviously his spider blood. Harry Osborn finds out, oh, hey, maybe I can use Spider-Man's blood. Peter, can you get Spider-Man for me? Maybe I can use his blood and blah, 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 blah. So I can cure myself. And there's this scene where they have this heated argument. Harry and Spider-Man have this heated argument. Well, you can live and I'm just going to die and blah, 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 blah. And Peter Parker's like, Spider-Man. It's like, I'm sorry, Harry, I can't help you. And he just leaves and pisses off Harry. Harry gets his own cure and becomes the villain of the film.
Which is exactly what happens in Morbius.
There is a scene. There is literally a scene in this movie in Morbius where Milo, that's Matt Smith's character, even though his name is actually Lucian, but for some reason, quirky. Yeah. Morbius calls him Milo when they're kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, this quick introduction, quick backstory where you find out that there were little kids together in this, in this hospital because they were both sickly children.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're older, and Morbius has obviously found the cure because that shit happens quickly in this film, which we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And Milo and Morbius having this conversation, Milo finds out that he's a vampire for all intents and purposes. He's not really a vampire. He's like you call him like a synthetic man-made vampire because he's
you can walk out in the sun.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, oh, you found a cure. You cured yourself. You can give it to me now. And Morbius is like, no, you don't want this. Blah, blah, blah. He's, you don't know what this is going to do to you. Blah, blah, blah. And Matt Smith gets mad. And, Morbius kicks him out and he just walks out. And at some point he steals the blood or the whatever it is that's in Morbius because he got the vials or whatever.
Yeah.
And he steals it and he becomes the villain of the film. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. It's literally Amazing Spider-Man 2. And
Batman Begins.
And this movie at the end tries to set up the Sinister Six. Just like Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Again.
I'm like, Sony.
What are you doing?
Jesus, Sony.
What are you doing?
Can you stop? Can you stop? Can you just stop repeating the same mistakes, bro? I was like, dude. So
the scientist, his last words in Captain America before he died. Well, remember his last was be a good man. Was that what he said?
Something like that, yeah.
We need these producers and the people that are funding and funding these movies. You need to flip that and somebody point to them, their chests, and go, make a good movie. Do that first. Bring in the fans, make the moolah. Then you could expand. But Sony's making the same mistakes all over again. But there are a few positives to the film. Believe it or not, there's actually some positives.
Which they already did, you could argue, with Amazing Spider-Man 2 back in 2014 when they did that. Because they made the same mistakes in Amazing Spider-Man 2 that they made with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. They made the same mistakes from that movie where you're juggling too much shit. You throw in too much shit in the movie. The movie collapsed in on itself with all the subplots and all the characters that happened in both of those films, and nobody liked it. Well, some people like Spider-Man 3. But the sequel, the trilogy never went on from there.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
We might get a Spider-Man 4. We might get an Amazing
but
Spider-Man
that's
3.
only because of No Way Home.
Right.
That's only because that movie was so well done,
Mhm.
and everybody's like, "Oh my God, we love Toby and Andrew, and you know they deserve better," which they did.
Right.
You know, Toby deserved a better finale. Andrew deserved a better set of films. I mean, you know, let's you know, but yeah. So this movie again making the same fucking mistakes.
Yes.
So I was a little worried with the opening sequence of this movie because it starts off with Morbius getting out of this helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
They're flying into this, you know, this wooded area, whatever.
Right.
Walks up to this cave, but it screamed soundstage. And I was like, oh no. Oh, how much? What's the budget on this movie? It looked like visually, it looked awful.
I know nobody cares about this shit now. I know we're in the huge minority. I know to the casuals, it's a dead art. Or people that are making the movies nowadays, they don't give a shit about it's a dead art. Can we please stop having generic, boring opening credits to your movies? Generic, boring. Oh, it's an M. Wow. Jazz hands. A generic M. That's it. That's all you get, you fucking assholes. Then give me your fucking money.
Yeah.
An M.
Yeah.
Do you remember when openings to films, the credits and the title is like something special, spectacular, gets the audience pumped up? Even Superman Returns. Unfortunately, that movie didn't turn out the way I wanted it to be. But I remember being in the theater and seeing the opening credits of Superman Returns. And you're flying through space and through planets. And you're hearing that iconic theme song. No, fuck you. You're getting an M. That's all you get. You get some neon. You get some neon lights and you get a fucking M. What is it? Have you had your what today? McDonald's. Is it have you had your break today? Yeah. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Have you had your break today? Morbius. All right. I had to get that out, but go ahead.
No, so yeah, I mean, like straight out of the gate, I was just concerned about just the look of the film and how it was already like looking cheap. And I was like, was this movie that low budget that it had such a cheap look to it after all? And then you come to find out throughout the film, the special effects would vary. Some of the special effects were actually quite fine.
Some of them are pretty good, like this shot right here. This works. This is pretty good, man.
Yeah.
You know, actually, there's another shot. But then sometimes the CGI of his face looked a little wonky. But then you would have shots like this that actually worked pretty well, especially even on Matt Smith. There was definitely moments where the effects actually worked for the most part. But go ahead.
Yeah. So you know they do the introduction of the child characters, and I think that was when I noticed, which was early on in the film, that was when I noticed that the pacing of the movie was going to be an interesting ride, because they had scenes throughout this. And it didn't seem to take very long to establish that the kids were, sick together and that they were bonding together.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't tell you how long that went on for, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But the pacing and the way they edited the film, you would have scenes where you would have the two kids that had just met and they were in bed next to each other, talking to each other. And then while they're having a conversation, they would cut to a whole other scene with the two kids in the same two kids doing something in an attic or something in another room while this other conversation that we're trying to pay attention to is taking place. Like they're trying to show you different things going on simultaneously with the scene we're already in, basically trying to just bombard you with information as quickly as possible to establish that, oh, they're bonding. They're sick children.
Right.
They don't have a lot of time because of their disease is they can't repair it, so they're just in this hospital to try to treat them.
Yeah.
Kind of stave off the illness until a cure can be found. That type of situation. But that was when I started to notice, oh, they're just trying to lay it all at you. They don't want anything to organically unfold. They want to just throw as much at you possible so that you just get it and you accept it and move on. That was when I noticed the pacing issues. And oh my God, the pacing in this movie did not let up. We're talking,
there's no suspense building at all.
We're talking Rise of
None.
Skywalker breakneck pacing in this movie, which, to the movie's credit, I was never bored.
It's true.
I wasn't,
unlike Uncharted,
I wasn't necessarily engaged.
Right.
I wasn't necessarily like interested in what was happening, but I wasn't bored.
Right,
and that was something that, again, like you said, with Uncharted, bored out of my mind, falling asleep. Whereas Morbius, the similarities between Morbius and Venom are very interesting. The first Venom film. Now, I'm sorry, Nathan, you know, I didn't like the first Venom movie. So I'll just say it. I did not care for the first Venom film. I thought that movie's biggest issues were the fact that you could just see where chunks of the movie were taken out.
And they were.
And so
they were taken out.
Pacing of that
There's
movie,
a lot of stuff cut from that movie.
The pacing of that movie was hindered by the fact that it just seemed like the editors were struggling. The editor was struggling to keep a coherent narrative in that film. And so the editing and the pacing seemed off because there were entire scenes missing.
Yeah.
And you had this generic villain in Venom that just, I couldn't even remember. I couldn't even tell you what his plot was, what his plan was in the first Venom film. But again, the pacing is what really I remembered, and the editing was just like so bizarre. This film, Morbius, has kind of a similar issue, except where I'm sure that there are scenes missing because, again, they're just throwing. This movie's just under 2 hours, and they're just throwing everything they possibly can at you so that it's just enough so that you understand what's going on.
Right.
And if you choose to care, you can.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I wasn't.
I mean, OGP, he liked the film. He didn't think it was that bad. You know?
So, and at least in this movie's defense, we have the MVP scene stealer.
Well, let's lead up to that a little bit.
Which Venom, the first Venom movie, did not have.
No.
So
I can't even remember who the guy was in the first Venom. And we all know what happened with Woody Harrelson in the second one. Anyway, now it's time to talk about a few of the positives. We'll get to it, but there's still some negatives with Samurai Guy. Now, I really wanted to enjoy at least the Universal Monsters movie type of aesthetic because they were kind of going for that a little bit, I think. Universal Monsters movie kind of vibe. And I was like, well, maybe it's possible if I can enjoy Morbius that way. So, he sticks in his cure. He starts to change. There was no suspense building. There was no cool, awesome transformation. Like he was already like a vampire on the ship. And his love interest nurse friend gets fucked with by some douchebag mercenaries, so he takes out the mercenaries. Okay, so some of that action was interesting. Like a lot of the attacks were like some of them were kind of like almost like smog or wind.
Yeah,
like we're like come swinging by, and then the guy's like dead. It was interesting. I was like, okay, let me see what they're trying to do here. Some of it was kind of like monster movie stuff.
And there were some things that they did during certain action sequences where they tried to be interesting with the camera angles.
Yes, they did.
I applaud them for that because at least it wasn't, generic trash where the camera's blinking off and on and you can't see what's going on.
Right. There was even some first-person view shots.
Yeah,
that was interesting. So I'm like, okay,
it's like, hey, we're trying.
I'm like, all right, I can like some of this, but then we have these moments, and just like Samaritan, it's just so blatantly obvious that even the fact that we know it's PG-13. There's moments that happen in the movie that I'm just like, you don't have to rub into our face that it's PG-13. God damn it! But I want you guys to watch this clip here. I want you guys to watch it, and I want you to listen to the sound effects of the swipe and what happens afterwards. Listen to this. Now, for monster movie fans, did you notice he had his nails on the pipe and he was dragging that? I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as he swiped at that guy, did you hear all of the blood coming out?
They left the blood for our imagination.
Did you hear that?
We had to imagine the blood.
Now, if you look at it again, you might think some blood swished out, but that's not blood. It's just the rest of Morbius going by. And they even zoom in on his neck, and he's holding his neck. I don't know why the fuck they're even bother zooming in on his neck when you can't see any blood. And there's and the few and rare moments that you do see blood throughout the film, it's dark.
Yeah.
They so pussied out, even for a PG-13 movie, they darken the blood to the point where the blood looks black. And that's frustrating because there's parts that I kind of was trying to let me try to enjoy this, right? But then we're smack dab reminded, God damn it. So that could be frustrating at times, right?
Yeah.
But let's get back to this. So he realizes his powers. He is now all buff right now, and he does his little sonar thing and all that. And here's where we were looking at each other like, how are they getting away with this? Even the score, even the soundtrack, which I think Cliff Martinez that did Dread, he would have been a better fitting for what they were trying to go for this movie. Even the score is exactly like Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are they getting away with this? And we have the scene where he gets into his little vat of bats. And it's literally just like Batman Begins, the same exact pacing of it and the same musical cues. Now, I was so confused by this that I looked online to see if anybody had any theories. And all the theories that people were saying, that people that actually really loved this movie, saying that it was an homage to Batman Begins. I'm calling bullshit on that because why the fuck would you homage the fucking enemy? Why would you do that? Do you see DC having a Spider-Man guy show up? Yeah. Why would you do that? I think they're reaching. Unless the director says something on audio commentary, and he was a fan of Batman Begins, and I really hope Sony and Marvel don't blacklist them after doing something like that. But you never homage the enemy.
Yeah,
you don't do that.
I mean, this the music was at
same
times
music,
borderline copyright infringement. Like,
yes,
it's too close. Like, I'm kind of surprised nothing ever came of it. Like, in terms of lawsuit between Warner Brothers Music and or would have been it was Warner Brothers Music at the time, because we're talking like Batman Begins, like beat for beat shit, where it's just like, how are they getting away with this?
It's strange,
and it happened a couple of times. And it was, I mean, I know music, especially comic book music, like comic book movie music, tends to be a bit on the generic side most of the time. Mm-hmm. But how old is that fucking trilogy now? Like, the last movie was what, 2012? That was The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
That was like 2012.
Yeah.
And why now?
Well, we're going back further. Batman Begins.
No, I'm just talking about in general, the last Batman movie from the Nolan trilogy has been out of the public consciousness for 10 years now.
Right.
For 10 fucking years. Why would you just now choose to rip off that particular score? We've had 2 incarnations of Batman.
What's up, Sci-Fi Century? What's up, man?
Hey. Yeah. We've had 2 incarnations of Batman since then. for better or for worse, depending
Yeah.
on what you like and what you know, whatever. I'm fine with both of them personally.
Yeah.
Why now?
Yeah. Now I would take this if it was a shot and they were spoofing Batman Begins, but it wasn't really a spoof. It was just the same shit with the same goddamn music. There was nothing funny about it.
And
but I would expect that. Like, let's do a little shot or a little dig.
yeah.
Like even the Eternals did that. Actually, the Eternals said the Superman kind of guy, Icarus, he said something about he doesn't wear a cape. So taking a shot or a dig, even if it's friendly, makes more sense than just straight up copying it. Even with the music, it's very weird. It's very weird. But anyway, let's keep going. So here's my problem with these solo Sony movies so far. This is my problem. If there was no excitement for me with this movie, maybe hopefully be, we can rant and destroy it and whatever. That was the only excitement. But the thing is, there's actually some stuff I like, but we'll get to it. But the thing is my problem with these solo villain Sony movies, they're not villain movies. So what is the fucking point? So you bring out Venom becomes the lethal protector. Okay. All right. So we made that decision then for Venom. Morbius, the whole movie, I was waiting for the gray moment. I was waiting to see the gray side of him. Morbius, from beginning to the very end, is goody two-shoes. And I'm like, what is the point of Sony taking these villains, giving them solo movies and they're heroes? What is the point? So when Kraven the fucking Hunter movie comes out, is he gonna be rescuing a cat out of the tree? And he's not gonna be hunting people. He's just gonna be walking grandmas across the street. Kraven the Hunter. I mean, what are we doing? And so when this scene comes up, we have this random nurse that Morbius has worked with many years, and you see her get picked off. And Morbius thought maybe he accidentally did it from vamp rage. And I was like, all right. We're getting into gray waters here. This is what I want. No, Matt Smith did it. Even you could see it coming a mile away that Matt Smith did it, but I was still like, come on, man. Let's get some gray. And again, from beginning to end, he's goody two-shoes. A little goody two-shoes, a little goody two-shoes, right? To the point where now, when Michael Keaton shows up at the end, I just might as well just jump the gun here. And he propositions Morbius. And he flies down to Morbius and goes, hey, I'm Michael Keaton. You want to join? Let's start the Sinister 2 and work our way up to 6, right? And then Morbius goes, I'm intrigued. Bah, bah, ha, ha, want to drink your blood. Bah, bah, blah, blah. There's no end. That's why everybody hates the end credits for this fucking movie. No one cares. No one's invested. No one's like, oh, shit, they're teaming up. Nobody gives a shit when you have a movie where it's a little goody two-shoes. Morbius.
You know what they're going to try to do.
Throughout the whole thing, unless moving forward, he's gray now.
No,
but what is Sony? Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Sony, No Way Home was a fucking fluke.
Yeah.
No Way Home was a fucking fluke.
I know what they're trying
Jesus
to do.
Christ.
I know what they want to do. If Sony gets what they want and they make their Sinister Six film,
yeah,
it's going to be a wannabe Suicide Squad. They're bad guys, but
there's rumors of the Thunderbolts movie coming out, and Thunderbolts is in a way kind of like Marvel's Suicide Squad, so maybe that's what they're leading to.
I'm just saying, because here's, and I've said this before. If you've ever heard me talk about the anime Death Note and the live action film Death Note,
yeah.
American audiences in general can't handle bad guy protagonists where they're the protagonists in that we follow them.
Yeah.
But if you look at Death Note as an example, that Japanese show based on the manga could never be adapted for American audiences as is, because that protagonist, he is a terrible, terrible person.
Right.
He is a murderer.
Abuses his power.
He is a murderer.
Yeah.
He ends up killing his own father. He does shady shit. He thinks he's in the right, which, those are the best kinds of most interesting people, but he is a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
So what do in the American version? They make him a hapless teenager who is manipulated and kind of tricked into using the notebook, and he has this girlfriend, the pop idol stand-in, and she's more the bad guy. She's more the one that twists him into doing bad things.
Yeah.
Because he can't be the one doing bad things because we're following him.
Right.
You have to have a likable lead character. You can't have somebody that is interesting.
Which, well, it comes to one of our movie recommendations that we're going to talk about later.
And again,
which the guy you're following is a horrible person, but we'll get to that.
Spoiler alert, it's not an American director that made the film.
There you go.
That's why. That's why I said American audiences.
They can't handle it.
They can't.
They flip out.
It's the same reason that some people had an issue with the film Dunkirk. You didn't have a main protagonist that you were following in that. You didn't have that one person or a couple of people that you knew the faces that you could root for.
Yeah.
American audiences, they have to have somebody they can root for.
Right.
They have to have somebody there. Either it's a self-insert or somebody that they can imagine that them being, or somebody that they can relate to.
Right.
That's the typical American audience experience, is that they have to have that there.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be that the story is interesting or that all of the characters in some way, shape, or form are interesting. And the movie that we're going to talk about later, like you said, doesn't have to be likable. It just has to be interesting.
Right.
For our taste.
Yeah.
And a lot of other films that are out there that cater to a different type of breed of audience, they kind of agree.
There you go. Tribal Chief. There you go. A good one. But superhero universe nails it. And this is what I was leaning towards. Morbius could have been its own vampire movie of a man who opens the door into the world of vampires and his struggle to keep his humanity. What do you guys think? In the original ending of Blade gets up on that rooftop and he looks across and sees his new enemy, and the guy that's standing there on the other side of the city looking straight at him is supposed to be Morbius. Why? Because he has that villain way about him. He's a great character, right? Morbius fought fucking Spider-Man in the 90s cartoon movie. People are excited about these characters being introduced into live action because they want to see them fight the hero. They want to see some kind of interaction. And now, does anybody? I want you to be honest, and all of you let us know in chat right now, and all of you guys that are watch this, let us know in the comments after this is live. Do any of you care now? After watching Morbius, are any of you excited to see Goody Two Shoes Morbius fight Blade? Let me know in chat. Let me know. I had an original rating for this film. It's changed.
Uh-oh.
My original rating for this movie has changed now.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it. I'm getting upset.
Uh-oh. Someone's getting irritated.
Getting irritated. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's keep going here. Okay. Let's back up a little bit here. And again, you basically talking about how you can tell things have been taken out and the pacing is like crazy. When he has that train fight in the subway, he literally screams at Morbius, like, I don't want to fight you. As soon as he gets away, the very next scene, he's on a bus with his love nurse interest, and he's like, we have to stop this guy. The next scene, we got to stop him. I was like, all right, there was something in the middle there. Okay, there was something in the middle there. But yeah, let's get back to what we're talking about here. So, oh my God, we forgot we skipped some stuff here. So, he gets arrested, our boy, because they think he killed the nurse and other people, and this is where our big, Mac coming to give, Mac sneaks in him some blood to him so we can have fun. And then it's big reveal, even though we already knew that Matt was already took the serum himself, so he's faking like he's crippled. But I have to go back here. Hold on. So we already showed the clip of no blood. You hear, but there's nothing there, right? Well, it gets worse. It gets worse.
PG-13
Yes.
should give you the ability to say certain things.
You should be able to say.
You should be able to say ass.
Ass.
Especially when it's in a non-sexual nature.
Yes. Okay. I want you guys to pay attention to Tyrese's mouth and what actually he says. Watch this.
Of course, I can help you. First, I want to say thank you. Your artificial blood actually saved my arm in Afghanistan, sir. Artificial blood actually saved my arm in Afghanistan, sir.
He says, save my ass. But they edit ass out, even though his mouth says ass, and they put in arm.
Why? In a movie where I don't even remember a shit being said. Like, if they did, it was rare. Is maybe, I don't even remember it.
I can't even play the PG-13 thing that I like playing clip because it's like you should be able to say ass in a PG-13 goddamn movie. Again, little goody two shoes, Morbius. Okay, can't say ass.
Yeah.
Can't show blood. Show blood. Make sure it's dark. These things, especially, and there's parts of us while we were watching this, when we did like a few things, parts of us actually was like, you know what? Maybe we might actually enjoy this when it's over. Maybe we might surprise us. It wasn't really that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting mad though talking about this, but let's keep going here. Am I missing any comments or anything? Yeah. Let's get. Eric, what's up, brother? This is the legend right here. That's the legend, yeah. But Sony is turning into the school principal. So anyway. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not enough, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. For the most part, I thought Jared Leto was fine. For the dialogue and script he was given, I thought he was fine. I did not hate his performance. However, now at this point, hey, I'm sure a lot of people have probably said that Matt Smith is cringe in this movie. We kind of beg to differ on that because we're searching for some kind of entertainment. And if you think about it, all the other comic book movies that exist out there, we can't even remember who the villain was, what his motivation was, and what his name was. At least Matt Smith, that's right, Doctor Who himself, at least from the script that he was given, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to ham it up. I'm going to just be fucking nuts. And we kind of enjoyed that a little bit. So we have a vamp chase here. We got our vamp chase. And, I was, for the most part, trying to enjoy it because there's really not a lot of action in here. And again, going back to the visuals, I can kind of see what they were trying to go for. But yeah, Matt Smith, to us, was really the only bright spot. By default, was really the only bright spot. Bright
spot.
Yeah.
We've lived with death hanging over us. Why? Why shouldn't they know what it feels like for a change?
Okay. I mean, you could tell. Oh, Matt Smith's probably like, "All right, this is my dialogue. This is all the time, screen time I have. All right, fuck it. I'm gonna go nuts." And especially this scene right.
My answer yes. My best I best. My 10 to 10. My spend to spend. Excellent.
Well,
It's terrible, but it's bad, but it's good bad
And
because
here's-
he's trying.
and here's
Matt Smith is trying.
as opposed to someone else.
Oh God.
Somebody
Ty Sleep Gibson.
somebody was apparently like upset that they're no longer in the favor with the Fast and Furious franchise. And so someone decided to take this gig and then promptly sleepwalk through it.
Tyrese, whether he thought he was given a good performance or maybe the director wanted him to act that way, we don't know. But Tyrese is so bad. He is so asleep in this movie, in every goddamn scene that he is in. He gives absolutely no shits that he's in this movie. None. That I have to applaud Mark Wahlberg's performance. I take back. No, fucking Mark Wahlberg's amazing in Uncharted now. Mark Wahlberg is fucking Al Pacino in Uncharted now. Because I'm gonna just show you a screenshot. I didn't have time to show a clip, but I'm gonna show you. Watch, look at this. This is him the whole entire movie. Every line of dialogue, every scene. He's one of the detectives that is hunting Morbius. And he's fucking asleep. It's really obviously it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. That's why by default
My answer yes. My best I best. My 10 to 10. My spend to spend. Excellent.
by default
Uh,
we were pleasantly entertained
Yeah.
a little bit by Matt.
so
But
so the movie
let's keep going.
the movie chugs along with your generic plot.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the vampirism. He goes on a bloodlust, and now his thing is, well, he wants to see how long it takes him to turn. He
Right.
started using synthetic blood. He doesn't want to use regular blood because he can't kill people because he's a good guy. He's got his love nurse with him, who also knows Matt Smith, but we never saw them together for more than like a couple of, like maybe one scene together. That was very strange that they knew each other so well, I guess because they were, childhood friends or whatever. And
Welcome to the party, Eric.
yeah. And so the crux of everything is Morbius trying to, see if he can control his powers versus can, control his bloodlust. Meanwhile, Matt, he just goes on a full-blown rampage,
Right.
and that's your story. Now, up until the third act, and when I say third act, I mean like the last maybe 15 minutes of the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, the pacing was like quick, breakneck. But it wasn't until the third act where everything kind of fell apart. You literally have a scene where the love nurse is doing something. She's off doing something, and she's suddenly in the next scene captured
Yeah.
by Milo. And
Yeah.
she's up on the roof and she's bleeding out because he's bitten her. And all of a sudden, she's like, make it mean something. And at first, you're not really sure what the fuck she's talking about. And then all of a sudden, Morbius is like, oh, fuck it. I'll just drink her blood before she dies out completely. But then they kiss, and she bites his lip with the apparent sequel bait that she's going to come back as a vampire, which we don't know for sure that's how that works.
Right.
We're just assuming. She's just assuming. Why would she want to do that to herself? Why would she think to bite her lip? When I'm dying, just remember, when I'm dying, I'm going to bite your lip.
Sweet.
I'm just going to bite your lip.
It's fucking hot.
It's just like, the whole scene was baffling, and it was so God damn it.
Yeah.
And
Well, she's coming back. There is no ifs. See, her eyes opened up at the end
yeah,
of the movie.
yeah,
Like, she'll be in the sequel that won't happen.
yeah, and it's just like that I think that last 15 minutes is when the pacing finally broke. the editing, taking out all the scenes finally broke the film.
Right.
Because not only did we get that last minute, oh, she's dead, but she turned herself into a vampire bullshit, which was like, fuck you, movie.
Right.
Nobody gave a shit about those two.
Yeah.
And then you have the final standoff, which.
All right. So again, oh wait, quick shout out. They got something right. The thugs in the movie like to watch Shaw Brothers films. So the points to the movie, they like to watch Shaw Brothers movies. All right. And for a second there, he did go a little vigilante, trying to find out what the bad guys are doing and stuff like that. He was out and about doing stuff. But yeah, he's pissed off now. He fucked with his woman. That wasn't technically his woman yet, kind of, or I guess she was his woman at this point.
Hey, once you bite someone's lip,
that's it, man. That's it. But we have these interesting visuals with him flying. He knows how to fly now. So I'm like, okay, they fly now.
Well,
sorry, bad Star Wars pun. Sorry.
Yeah, they kind of set that up when
the train.
The baffling scene when he gets captured. Remember that scene where
the
Tyrese is
rooftop.
chasing him?
Yeah.
And the winds
the
winds are blowing him, and at first you're like, why are the winds blowing him so much?
Yeah.
And then it's something that he can do. He can pick up the winds, and even though he has no wings,
right,
he can just use the
glide.
winds to ride current and glide.
Yeah.
But that scene was baffling at the beginning where
I don't know how he got captured.
He
took out a whole entire team of mercenaries, but then Tyrese,
his boredom put him to sleep.
I needed you to take this stuff seriously, okay? Morbius, you listening? I think it's funny how
cut to Morbius.
I think it's funny how these guys and everybody in the movie are like perfectly fine that there's vampirism and vamps running around. I guess at that point, because if it's kind of a part of the MCU, they've seen everything.
They've got Venom out there,
right? So they're probably like, "Oh, we got vamps now." All right. But yeah, so now we have our final showdown. So you got Morbius, flying and gliding. I'm like, all right, kind of like the little purple visual that, all right. So he's pissed. So we're going all out here. Now, as soon as they start fighting, we got super vamp versus super vamp type of fighting back and forth. I was getting into it. I'm not going to lie. I was getting into it a little bit. I was trying my best to try to find some kind of enjoyment out of it. And so they kind of do this little back and forth for a little while. And then this happens. So soon as the fight gets started, already we're here. Hold on. We're right here. We end up in this area. Now, if you guys watch the film, and I couldn't get a wide shot, but this whole setting and location is actually pretty fucking phenomenal looking for two super vamps to fucking duke it out. And once the beginning little back and forth led to this, I was like, all right, man, all fucking right. Okay. I was off and on with the movie. I'm up and down. I'm like, okay, that's okay. I enjoyed that, but it's not great. Oh, what the fuck are we doing? Up and down the whole movie. When we get here, I'm like, oh, Matt's gonna arm himself. We're gonna have a fucking fight. It's like fucking, Blade 2, right? Blade, right? Fighting the main villain at the end. We're gonna have a scuffle. You know what I'm saying? Elbows, knees. Super vamp power style. They're gonna brawl. But I'm telling you, if you guys go back to this on Netflix, look at this just amazing set location. This isn't represented that well, but you see this wide shot where they have a lot of room to fight, and I was getting so excited. I was so like, all right, I'm actually getting excited now. I'm like, okay. Oh, but hey, no, fuck it. You remember Batman Begins? Do you remember Batman Begins? No, that's how we end it, guys. We start with a little back and forth scuffle, little scuffle. We're getting warmed up, and then literally, as soon as we land in this awesome location for a fight, no, fuck it. I'm gonna call the bats just like Batman did. Batman Begins, call all the bats, and then I'm gonna use the bats. Bats are gonna fuck up Matt Smith, and then I'm gonna uncure Matt. And that's the end of the movie. And I was just like, fuck you, movie. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like, you're killing me. I want to like this parts of this movie. I want to like parts of it. What is the purpose and the point to have a amazing fight scene location? And right after, as soon as they get here, nah, fuck it. I'm gonna call the bats. That's it. I wouldn't even have minded if the fight ended that way. He's like, yeah, it's Batman Begins-esque. But I wouldn't have minded if the fight ended that way. He's like, all right, fuck it, bats. All right, you're done. But if we had a really cool, badass, back and forth fight in this awesome location, I could have forgiven the Batman Begins ending. But yeah, I'm pissed. I'm pissed now. And then of course, we already talked about the fucking just pointless, useless. Why should we care? Goody Charleston Chew, Goody Two Shoes Morbius joining Michael Keaton and forming the Sinister Six. Who gives a fuck? Nobody gave a fuck. An Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out. Nobody gives a fuck now. Sony, your track record is fucking garbage. And that's why No Way Home was a fucking fluke. It was a fluke. And unlike Morbius, No Way Home got released again, and it was the number one. It was the number one hit of the weekend. Isn't that kind of funny?
Yeah.
But yeah, there are parts of this film we liked. We liked Matt Smith. He tried. Some of the action, I was trying to get into it. But we didn't see a great character. We didn't see any slight hint of, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to be so goody two shoes. I'm going to make some controversial decisions that you may not like. Like something. Nothing. What are they saying in chat right now? Yeah, villain grabs melee weapon. Hero says no bats. Yeah, again, I feel sorry for the people involved. I'm sure at this point, Jared Leto's like, I'm never making a comic book movie ever again. He's Jared Leto, I guess, in a way, is the new Ben Affleck, pre BVS extended version and Snyder cut. It's Justice League. But Sony, I want you to be honest. Is anybody going to go pay their hard-earned money? You work hard all week, 12 hours a day, hurting, working in the heat. Weekend comes. You're actually going to pay your money to see Kraven the Hunter? Are you actually going to pay your money to see Kraven? If you thought Morbius, if you can't sell Jared Leto as a vampire super villain / hero, if that bombs, what the fuck is Kick-Ass's chances to play Kraven the Hunter? No, we gotta get that Sinister Six movie. We gotta get that Sinister Six. Sinister Six!
Oh well.
Oh well. Seriously. Yeah, it's baffling. In a way, these bad superhero movies might end up bringing us joy. We're looking forward to the next one now. No, fuck it. No, I changed my whole perspective. We can't wait to watch Kraven the Hunter now. Let's see what happens. It's gonna be a fucking train wreck.
You hear that, Rick? We can't wait. I know he's not watching.
Rick Myers hates that. But yeah, I wanted to be as happy as Matt Smith was dancing. And again, if you can't even satisfy me in a good bad level, I would love for Morbius to at least be good bad.
Mm.
I would buy a good bad movie. We thought Venom Let There Be Carnage was good bad.
Yeah.
We got some entertainment out of that.
Yeah.
But
the movie
it's getting depressing now.
The movie reminded me of a mid 2000s style comic book film.
It did.
Like
It did.
Where Batman Begins was the exception.
Yeah.
You know, where you had your Fantastic Four movies. Now, keep in mind, this movie is no Fan-4-Stick.
Right.
This movie is not like Fan-4-Stick.
Oh yeah, the Morbius is the Godfather compared to Fan-4-Stick.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movies, which I fucking hated those movies. I'm talking about movies like that came out in like the mid 2000s.
I thought you were talking about Fan-4-Stick.
No. I meant it's not as bad as Fan-4-Stick.
Right.
When I say Fan-4-Stick,
that's another level.
When I say Fan-4-Stick,
of a movie getting destroyed by the
that's how I differentiate
studio.
the two different.
Yeah.
The two different franchises. I say Fan-4-Stick when I'm referring to the most recent one that failed miserably.
Right.
And Fantastic Four, the mid 2000s with the two movies, which I didn't care for those.
Right.
But it had that air about it where it was just generic. It just came and went.
Yeah.
You know, when X3 came out, and
it's good enough for people good enough, like fun little time wasters.
Even though
yeah,
people didn't turn out to see this movie. Like,
it's pretty sad.
You know, this movie, we all know what happened.
These characters deserve better. The fans, you guys deserve better, man. At this point, I think we're getting so jaded with being constantly disappointed by a lot of movies recently that it's just kind of like we're getting to that level where we don't care anymore.
I mean,
we don't care.
I've already spoken my piece. Once Thor: Love and Thunder came out, I was like, that's it. I'm too old for this shit. It's official.
Yeah.
It's not for me anymore. Like, this is how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with the Disney Marvel shows. I'm just like, I'm not interested.
Yeah, we're kind of just done, really.
I'm not interested anymore. I'm just not. I don't find the writing compelling. I don't find the characters interesting, from what I've seen so far. Like, there's always potential, but they piss it down their leg.
And Champ just nailed it right here.
I don't know. It's not even some studios.
Yeah.
It's the studios it's the big studios that have the most money to throw out, and they don't want to lose that money, even though fucking Warner Brothers just sunk $70 million into the Batgirl film and then said, oh, never mind, for whatever reason. We may never know the reason why it was actually shelved. Like the real reason. It could be the worst movie ever made. I say
fuck it, release it.
But they're doing the tax write-off thing.
Is that what they're doing?
That's why they're not.
Oh, shit.
I think that's the most.
Can they release it after?
No, because they can't make money off of it. Once you've written it off, it's one of those.
Dude,
you can't make money
that's crazy. Man.
I mean, maybe someone will leak it a couple of years down the line. Maybe, you know how the Wonder Woman pilot got leaked, the TV show back in the day.
Yeah.
Things get leaked all the time.
Right.
But this movie was just, that's what it was. It was a mid 2000s. Just, it was there with better special effects for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
It was there. Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of like, it wasn't the worst thing I'd ever seen. Like, I was expecting trash.
You're talking about Morbius.
I'm talking about I'm back to Morbius.
Yeah.
That's why I was so
excited.
There's
worse than Morbius. Don't get us wrong now.
Fan-4-Stick.
Yeah, there's worse than Morbius.
Way worse. Like, that's the thing about this movie when it came up on Netflix, and I was just like, oh my God, that's my migraine movie. I was kind of hoping for more good, bad moments. And instead it was just, this is it.
Yeah.
It's just quickly paced. The acting's fine. Special effects are okay. Except for, Tyrese's acting was almost put me to
acting
sleep. Yeah, he just showed up and said, "Where's my Coke?"
Yeah,
and
where's my Coke? The soda.
Yeah, and I've seen way worse, but this isn't like a hidden gem, is what I'm saying. This isn't one of those movies that got overlooked and got wrongly shit on by critics and audiences. It's just there.
And in a way, yeah, it's just there. And in a way, I could still I could see it being harmless. Like I could see some people actually kind of liking Morbius, believe it or not, despite because a lot of people don't have the issues we have with movies sometimes. So I could see people like it was all right. It was kind of a fun little superhero vamp movie, and then they would never watch it again. I can see that.
Josiah, haven't you seen?
Well, which call just commented like
I guess Josiah didn't
Yeah.
see. I'm sorry, Josiah. They already ruined Kingpin.
and Hawkeye.
It was in Hawkeye.
Yep.
He got punked out by a 5'0" deaf
And her
girl.
mom.
Well, no, the deaf girl ended up taking. Remember Echo?
Oh, well, the mom too ran him over with a car.
But Echo was the one that
Right,
finished the job.
That's getting her own series because we wanted that.
Because Echo all of a sudden Kingpin that was established in the Daredevil universe as being a staunch loner who only had Wesley in his life. Wesley was like the only. He said, "Oh, he's like a brother to me, almost like a son." Like the Wesley character that Karen Page killed in the first season. And then he ends up with Vanessa, obviously. So he only ever really had Vanessa and Wesley. Oh, he had somebody that was akin to an adopted daughter this whole time that we never knew about. That's Echo. Thank you, Disney.
Yay.
Thanks, Disney. I fucking hate it. But no, that's what Disney does. They retcon everything and they tweak stuff because they want to introduce a new character to make them look.
This is me now because I don't care anymore. I've given up. So this is me now. Somebody calling me up. I can't believe what they did. This is me. I'm just fuck it. I don't care anymore.
And you know what?
I don't care anymore. I don't have time. I'm getting older in life.
3 years ago, I wanted nothing more than another Daredevil series because you ended off the third season with Bullseye finally coming into his own. And Bullseye,
a stronger Bullseye.
Season 2 of Punisher. I'm not Punisher. Daredevil. I'm going off on a Punisher. I have a Daredevil tie right here because I wanted to see another season of Punisher too. That's why I keep saying Punisher. We only got 2 seasons of Punisher. I wanted another season of Daredevil and I wanted another season of Punisher because I loved that show so much. But with Daredevil, the first season was so great. And the second season for me, as much as I loved Elektra, Elodie Young, and I loved John Bernthal's Punisher, there was something about the 2 concurrent storylines that never worked for me.
It was a little messy.
Still
really entertaining.
It's like if they had followed one, I would have been fine.
Right.
And if they had followed the other one, I would have been fine. But when they were going concurrently, I just don't like it. I like the Punisher story in that series. As much as I love Elodie Young as Elektra.
I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss that actress. She nailed Elektra.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guys already know they already recasted Elektra. So
and then in the third season,
they
brought it all back. The third season brought everything back with tightening up the story, making it more focused, and it was back to it being Matt brooding, of course, because it's Matt, but it was him dealing with all the shit that had gone down from the Defenders, unfortunately. And sorry. And but it was back to the basics. It was back to him dealing with shit. Him and Karen and Foggy all get back together by the end of the show. But you were focusing on Kingpin manipulating Bullseye in that show.
Yeah,
brilliantly. Like the guy that played Bullseye was so good.
Oh, man.
Bullseye was so.
You did not want to fuck with this guy.
He was written so well in that, and the manipulation that was going on with those 2 characters was so great. And by the end of everything, you had a broken Kingpin, and you had Bullseye being reborn with his spine being surgically altered and all that.
So we had a stronger Bullseye coming, but
and
they ended there.
So 3 years ago,
it ends with Kingpin versus Daredevil versus Bullseye in the house.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, and my point is 3 years ago, I wanted nothing more than a continuation of that. And now that Disney's involved, I am so depressed. Like I love seeing Charlie Cox come back in No Way Home.
Oh, it was great.
I loved that. Yeah. He got a cute little pop in the theater that we were sitting at with the audience.
That was awesome.
Some people were confused, but I was so happy. And that was great seeing him.
I guess by default, we have to try to watch Daredevil.
But it's Disney.
We got to try.
It's Disney. That's the problem.
Hey, we suffered through Hawkeye and Moon Knight. We can at least try.
I know exactly what they're gonna do though.
Are you gonna wait for reviews?
No,
No. Okay.
because reviews don't mean anything because people love the shows that are coming out now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's true.
it's like it's just not for me. But yeah, I'm so sad that this is how we have to have Daredevil come back.
Yeah.
It's through Disney, and I'm bitter about it because
Right.
it's like it was a great show when it was on Netflix,
Right.
and now they're gonna Disneyfy it.
Oh, we have to rate Morbius. I forgot to rate.
Well,
him.
you were
All right, let's get this out of the way.
It's you know what
it's harmless.
yeah,
but
it's just
I'm angry now. I wasn't this angry the first time I watched it. So my ratings are going to change. So I'm not even going to show what I put up here. Action movie, go.
some of the action was nice.
All right, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, maybe
They were trying.
maybe C plus.
Okay.
Because some of it was really nice.
Okay.
But you didn't get enough of it.
No.
It was like if they had stuck with it more, I probably would have been okay.
They had the whole opportunity to have an amazing end finale fight, man. They blew it.
Yeah.
Movie.
The movie itself.
C. You're gonna give it a C.
C minus.
C minus.
It's just there.
Yeah.
It's not like egregious.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah. What's up, Logan? What's going on? I'm changing my rating. So my rating now is C for action. It's average. And god damn. I'm going D plus for movie. Okay. Because at first I wasn't this negative about it, but talking about it again, so much wasted potential. I'm getting tired of wasted potential. Getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of playing it safe. I'm so done with the shit. That's me now. Like I'm just done. So there you go. D plus movie. C.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it didn't bore me like Uncharted did.
Yeah, I mean, I gave this and Uncharted the same rating. I think
I did too.
But different context, guys.
There's different reasons.
Different context.
Yeah, it's like this movie blew by at like an hour and 58. I think Uncharted was a little bit longer.
It felt like 3 hours.
Anyway, I fell asleep. So
anyway, all right. So that's our bad movie reviews for the day.
OGP's
Before we go, what's up, OGP? Before we go,
we're about to mention him.
We were?
Doesn't he?
Oh yeah, it's funny. You just showed up, man. There you go. Shimon double fire. Yeah, man. You got
Chimaev made weight.
No, that's why he's fighting Kevin Holland. He's not fighting Nate Diaz. They switched. Everybody switched. He's fighting Tony Ferguson. Kevin Holland's fighting Chimaev.
Are you fucking serious?
And Tony Ferguson and Holland's opponents are fighting each other.
What the hell happened? Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
Anyway, what's up, OGP? All right, really quickly, we're gonna wrap it up. These are not gonna be long, extensive reviews. These are just our quick thoughts of recent films we just watched and enjoyed. That's right. And you guys are probably shocked, but we actually do enjoy some movies. And some of these are better late than one of them is recent that she's seen. The other two are better late than never movies. They've been out for a while, but we're so happy we watched them. All right, so you seen this newest anime film called
it apparently released last year in 2021, but it I don't know if it got theatrical here. But yeah, it just came to HBO. I almost blind bought it just because I saw the trailer for it and it seemed kind of interesting.
I heard it's supposed to be really good, but you've seen it, so what's it about for them? Without spoiling it,
it's kind of hard to. Teenage girl,
Mm-hmm.
she had something traumatic happen to her, and she used to sing. She used to love to sing. Something happened to her, and she can't sing anymore. She gets really sick of the thought of singing, and she's kind of floating through her school and teenage years, and then this online thing becomes a big deal. It's like a virtual world where you create you transfer your mind and consciousness into this virtual world, and the program creates an image of you
Okay.
kind of based off of your personality
Yeah.
in a way.
Mhm.
And because obviously she used to love to sing,
Yeah.
she ends up becoming like this pop idol. Like she sings this song, and at first nobody gives a shit because it's the internet. It's basically the internet.
Yeah.
And then suddenly people start listening to her and it goes viral and yada yada.
Yeah.
And she, you know, she kind of doesn't bury herself in that world, but she ends up meeting this beast shows up, and I didn't know that this ended up having Beauty and the Beast undertones to it.
Oh.
I didn't know that. And there's even like scenes that are directly from the 92 Disney version.
Oh wow.
Where
The good version.
Yeah, where it's like, I hope this is an homage, and I hope they know what they're doing here, because this is literally like shot for shot, like certain things happen
Okay.
in the story, and visually things happen where the beast like makes faces and he does something and scares Belle out, and the scene where he like holds his head in his hand when she runs out, he does the same thing in this movie. I'm like, oh my god, I'm tripping balls right now. This is insane.
So a true homage, unlike Morbius with Batman Begins.
It's yeah.
Have a good one, Gilbert.
And she, so you have this mystery of who is the beast, because he's going around ruining everybody's time in the virtual world. He's like beating the shit out of characters and this and that.
Like Eric's on it. Like Eric, that's my boy right there. Eric, he's on it.
There you go.
Eric knows everything.
I loved The Boy and the Beast.
The Boy and the Beast was great.
That was really
That's
good.
a great animated movie. You guys need to watch that. That's a great movie.
And so this mystery, she wants to find out who the beast is. There are other parties involved who want to find out who the beast is for other nefarious reasons. They want to expose him. Basically, this one character comes along, they're like the superheroes of the world, and he has this beam that if he flashes it on you, it exposes who you really are. It's like doxing kind of in real life. It'll show everybody who you actually are. And I just really enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
I watched it in Japanese, of course, because there's a lot of music in it, and I can't imagine what the English dub did to it. Because sometimes with anime, the English dub will let the Japanese music flow and just let it go, but sometimes they'll do their own songs, and I would not
live fighting love.
Let's fight
Let's
love.
fight love.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to go there. I wanted to hear it in its original language first. Right. Maybe one day out of curiosity, I'll go back and watch the English version.
Nice.
Just out of curiosity.
So you enjoyed that and you recommend that?
I really loved it. I would like to buy the version when I found out it was a 4K. So I'm like, damn it.
It's animation. Probably not that big of a difference.
But yeah, it ends up being a really sweet kind of tale towards the end. Some stuff goes down. You find out some stuff. And I enjoyed it, and it was beautifully animated. There was a lot of beautiful visuals to it. Even some of the music, I'm not really into pop music or anything,
but it fit the movie.
Yeah, right. I enjoyed it, and it was nice to see something different.
Yeah,
like that's probably the
nice to see something different.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. All right, if OGP's still here, if not, I'll hit him up later. I finally saw it, my good man. OGP let me borrow 2 films from this director. I have not seen his work yet. Hold on. Now we're just to show, this is a good example right here how me and Lady Fat Blood, we're very open-minded to all kinds of genres, right? So we're flipping it now. We're in heavy territory now. You got Belle. Anime, beautiful, gorgeous, all that good stuff, right? Now we're in totally different territory. So OGP let me borrow 2 of the films. One of them is called Antichrist. I have not watched it yet.
I've seen it.
She's seen it, right? But I'm late to the game with this one, and this is the director's cut. This is heavy time now. Not so much for us because it's us. Oh, there he is. I finally seen it, my friend. We really enjoyed. I know you can look at it as weird. We really enjoyed The House That Jack Built, baby. That's right. Samurai Guy's first Lars von Trier trippy fucking batshit insane experiment movie. This is the director's cut. Matt Dillon. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch Antichrist at some point, OGP, and then we'll do a stream together. We could talk about both movies. But Matt Dillon killed it in this.
He killed a lot.
He killed a lot. And this movie, you know, it's heavy. Not so much to us. We're our tolerance, like we're on another level of heavy. But this is the movie where historically it has gone down that a whole bunch of people got up and left the theater
At a film festival.
At a film festival,
at a snooty film
hundreds
festival.
of people got up. They couldn't handle this. Hundreds of people got up.
We don't know how many people, but
I thought it was hundreds.
There was quite a bit.
People got up and left. They couldn't handle it. So this may not be for everyone. However,
We
this you're gonna be shocked what we're about to say.
I don't know what this says about us.
We're gonna be shocked what we're about to say. Some of the scenes in this, we were laughing our asses off. Not all of them, but some of the scenes, I was like, okay, is this? I turned to her, I was like, is this a dark comedy? Is this a dark comedy? Because there were scenes that we can't talk about it, but there were a few scenes in this. I'm like, oh my god, this is kind of fucking hilarious, and we were kind of laughing at a few scenes. I don't know, maybe that was on purpose. But have a good one, champ. Take care, man. Even the odd ending that we won't spoil, we'll spoil it. OGP, me and you together when we go into spoiler talk. But yeah, beautiful visuals. Batshit craziness. Love the music. You know, it just worked. It just worked. So he's a serial killer trying to be famous in his own way. And that's all we're gonna say if you're interested in something like this. But there's heavy stuff in here. If you're not used to it, all right. It's not Serbian level. It's not a Serbian film level of heavy, but there's some stuff in there I could see people finding disturbing. But there's other stuff in there that we were laughing our asses off about. But yeah, the OGP says it's a dark comedy. Yeah, so we really enjoyed The House That Jack Built. That's right. Now, this next movie is even older. Came out in 2016. This was just always on the list. Samurai and Lady Fat Blood. We got so many on the list movies, stuff that's in our queue. Our queue just keeps building, you know, and we some things just pass us by. OGP, I'm not sure if you've seen this. I'm sure a lot of you badasses watching right now, I'm pretty sure you guys seen this already because, like I said, we're late to the game. Let me tell you something. Korea, fucking nailing it. The Wailing was fucking fantastic. Jesus Christ. This was fucking fantastic. And I'll talk a little bit more about this in the Well Go USA pickups. Spoilers.
Well,
but this movie, The Wailing, is fucking great. And I'm not going to spoil it. But I want to watch this again because now knowing what I know is the second viewing of this going to be a totally different experience. But The Wailing's great. Go ahead.
I know.
Fucking great.
I know, especially lately.
Bravo.
And you can, especially lately, and you can chalk it up to our age. We are older. We are older. We have seen a lot of movies. Okay, we've seen a lot of movies. We've seen a lot of TV. We've seen a lot of TV bite the dust.
The Chaser was good too, Eric. I like that one.
We've seen a lot of TV shows just bite the dust, you know, towards the end of their finales and just shit the bed. We've been jaded. Okay.
Yeah.
With movies, we've looked forward to a lot over the past few years, and we've been severely disappointed.
Yeah.
And when you watch as many movies as we have, and I'm sure some of you out there can relate, things become predictable.
Right.
Things become stale. And even though if a movie's good enough, you can forgive it. It's
I already took care of it. Go ahead.
You can forgive it. It's cliches.
Mm-hmm.
You can forgive it being predictable if the movie's good enough. It's
cool. He's seen it. Yeah, OGP seen it. Nice.
It's really refreshing to see a movie where not only is the acting is great, of course, because most of the films we've seen with the Korean cinema, I don't think I've seen.
Everybody in this movie's performance is
Yeah.
phenomenal. Everybody.
But it's nice to see a movie where just when you think you've figured things out, you're fucking wrong.
It slaps you in the face. It goes, nope.
And when you look,
It's so good.
when the credits start to roll, you're kind of like, I have no idea. I had no idea where this movie was going. And it's nice to have that.
Yes.
It's really nice to have something like that where you're not seeped in the predictability of most popcorn entertainment cinema. And there's nothing wrong with popcorn entertainment, but even when we're coming in not expecting much from our popcorn entertainment, and that's becoming stale and not entertaining to us anymore, again, you can chalk it up to our age. We've just seen too much. We've seen too damn much.
Yeah.
We're too old for this shit. It's nice to have movies like The House That Jack Built and The Wailing.
Yeah.
Where
that challenge the viewer. It will be challenged once in a while.
They're not that The Wailing wasn't pretty. Like, cinematography was of course it was great. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's, but to have things that aren't necessarily pretty to look at in the sense of, oh, life sucks, or just to have a story being told to you that isn't cookie cutter.
Yes.
And isn't predictable and isn't just so standard and stock that, oh, I know this is going 5 minutes into the film.
Right. Yeah.
It's nice to have that option.
Right.
So The Wailing, we had no idea.
Oh my God.
No idea where it was going.
I kept trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, I got it now. And then the movie goes slap.
Yes.
But yeah, without spoiling it, we have some. Well, how do we talk about briefly without spoiling it? Just we have a detective.
This kind of podunk cop who's kind of inept is his job. He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Comes across this string of
murders
and deaths
and crazy
that are
people
mysterious
that are happening in the village. Yeah. In town.
Yeah.
And we had a mysterious Japanese man who showed up out of nowhere. So they investigate him as well. But yeah, it's kind of a murder investigating type movie, a whodunit type movie. But is it that? Yeah. So that's, oh Jesus. When we come across, again, like jumping off what you just said about being jaded and just all these movies that we actually look forward to are just kind of be in it, disappointing. Not all of them, but it happens. Like we loved RRR. We fucking love RRR. Love it. The Michelle Yeoh's movie, Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, but that was another movie that was full of creativity.
Yes.
And is innovative storytelling, and it was nice to have something like that where it's not cookie cutter.
When we watch movies like this, there's hope. we take a breath.
Yeah.
We literally take a breath. After watching all of the Morbiuses and the Uncharteds and the Dead Zones, we come across something like this and we go, good cinema still exists. It's still out there. And we can go even further. Eric, you still there? I got something to show you. Where you at? Let me know you're still there before we wrap it up. Yeah, exactly. Yes, he does. He's barely did anything after this. Nothing. You still there, Eric? Let me know you're still there. Is he there? He may have left.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, Eric. Now I've seen the first movie. I haven't, but that was so long ago. They're rewatching it again. I was like, this is such a good exploitation film. But I thought I saw the sequels, Eric. But when I watched them, I'm like, none of this looks familiar. So I enjoyed the sequels for what they were. I still like the first one better. But dude, finally got through the Female Scorpion complete collection. This was released by Arrow. Like, I've seen the first one, but it's been so long. It's been like 20 years or more. I had to rewatch it again here, and I just loved it. I loved it. I loved the visuals of the first film. The first film's still my favorite. But yeah, if you guys are into, it's a little bit of a women in prison film genre. Sometimes it almost feels like a fantasy, a little bit of horror in there, but these are all straight up revenge flicks. And hold on, Mako Kaji is on another level. This actress, Eric, I'm gonna reach out to you. We're gonna do a video. We're gonna do a video on this actress. This actress, man, Jesus Christ. You may also know her from the Lady Snowblood films. This actress, some people, they have that it factor, right? You put Samurai Guy on Mission Impossible poster, the new one's coming out. No one's going to see me. Right, who the fuck is that guy, right? Some people have that it factor, that charisma. And this actress can stare holes through your fucking soul with her glare. She could just stand there amongst a whole bunch of other men and women and look at you, and you're just going to feel it piercing through your soul. She has that it factor, and she's actually a good actress. She's good in action sequences, and she can fucking sing. She can do everything. So, yeah, we need to do some kind of video on her, Eric. So I'll reach out. Maybe we get some other people with us to talk about her. But yeah. But yeah, again, you can go back to older cinema, man. You know, we go back 70s, 60s. There's so much good movies out there. 80s.
Movies from the 30s.
So, yeah, we watched some silent films that we really enjoyed, right?
Yeah.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. There's so much good stuff. But yeah, Eric, we'll have to do something in the future for sure. What is the name of the movie? This is the Female Prisoner Scorpion series. This is the whole complete collection. Let's see. The first movie is called Female Prisoner number 701 Scorpion. And then after that, it's Jailhouse 41, Be Stable, and Grudge Song. Yeah, but it's all revenge exploitation genre. But it's good stuff. First movie's still my favorite though. But yeah. So a little bit of the old and a little bit of the new, the semi-new, in the Samurai Guy's house. That's right. But yeah, wait, hold on a second. Oh, I won't. We're gonna have to talk about that too, my friend. I won't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a double feature. And Tai Chi. Yeah, Tai Chi for sure, brother. But yeah, thanks again, guys. You guys are just wow, chef's kiss. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, talking films, making us laugh. We always make you guys laugh. We try to being our goofy selves.
Kevin, wrong, bad timing, buddy.
We're about to chop. Kevin always shows up. We're about to leave.
It's the time difference.
It's all good, brother. It's good seeing you, man. It's good seeing you. Yeah. When are we doing movie night at the dojo? It's gonna be a while. OGP, the dojo is closed down for shop because of all the stuff that's going on recently. So I'll let you know more detail after. Tribal Chief saying goodbye. Hey, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out and hearing us rant about bad movies and recommending good ones. And you guys recommended some good ones to us as well. Yeah, it's always fun hanging out with you guys, talking films. And probably won't be able to see The Barbarian this weekend, but I really want to see it and review it at some point. But don't forget, guys, for shits and giggles, you guys are going to want to show up Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's right, because the movie that everyone's talking about, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's right, your boy Samurai Guy is going to be interviewing Pooh Bear himself. That's right, Craig. That's right, he's going to be hanging out with Samurai Guy Sunday. So yeah, if you want to see Samurai Guy interview Pooh Bear, that's this Sunday. So make sure you guys show up at 11 a.m. and we'll have some fun early in the morning. All right, guys, you guys are awesome. Take care. Keep watching movies. Keep enjoying life, man. Enjoy life. That's right. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.
to get vaxxed, motherfucker. Side effects may include, fuck you.